Okay, so last time on the Wilds of Valandiir, crown collectors had gotten ready in a unorthodox kind of way for a night of relaxation, rest at a local bathhouse, and found it had been beset upon by a nefarious plot, a scheme to kill them all in their bathtub, so to speak. But as this crazy, viney creature has failed in its attempt to drown you all or poison you all or who knows what the hell it was trying to do, you came out victorious. You vanquished this foul creature who had already murdered a couple people, unfortunately, and found it to be the responsible, the whole attempt, the scheme, everything, perpetrated by a known gang or cult or club that has you in its sights, the Black Wing. Baranor had pulled a dagger from the wall holding a Batwing, their signature calling card, and you stand here in the foyer of the bathhouse, bewildered, a little injured, and just not really having a good time of it. And it's getting to be around, mid-evening, early evening, to the point where there's not a lot left to do in the day. However, you got a few hours to yourselves if you want to split off, some go home or do your own thing. What do the crown collectors do now? Go.
Yuno's going to head off to the enclave for House Cerulean.
Okay. By foot, that's about a 45-minute journey. Yeah. Go ahead, Noah.
Koza will take off for the blacksmith.
Okay. You're in the bathhouse. That's about a 10-minute journey by foot to get to that part of the city. So I'm going to need Yuno and Koza when we get back to you. You guys are going to roll a d20 for me.
Okay.
Who's next?
Well, I guess it's really only me.
Yep. Well, I got stuff for the others to do.
I'm not sure what to be doing right now.
You could just go home.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Go ahead and from where you are, heading back the way you came, you've spent pretty much all day at the blacksmith, so you did get to wash off the lint and grease and oil and metal shavings and whatnot that you accumulated at the blacksmith, spending a couple hours there. And so you feel, relatively washed. You're sore. And the idea of heading back to the estate, maybe hitting up your workshop, maybe tinker around with your armor a little bit, or just going straight to bed, it sounds much better than traipsing around the city.
That's right.
So, Baranor is going to bid you all good night. He is going to, you see him kind of reach into his pack and pull out like a trinket of some kind, and his eyes kind of flash almost like a very, very pale, translucent golden yellow, just for a brief moment, and you see him kind of like mutter to himself and nod, and he's like, I'm going to meet up with Luna. We're going to go hunt for a little while, and I'll meet you guys at the estate later tonight. And he kind of FOs. Maven and Kravish just sort of like, they kind of stand close to each other for a little bit, and, kind of take in everything. They watch a couple of you sort of take off a little bit, and they just kind of wander in the direction that Axon was going. Although he was going in a bit more of a hurry, you see Maven kind of keeping an eye on the streets, while the two of them just sort of talk, chit-chat on the way down back to the estate. All right, what'd you get?
Sorry, nat 20.
Oh my god, a nat 20. This is opposite day. That's really bad. I'm just kidding. All right, so you're a pretty perceptive guy, right? Do you have good perception?
Yeah. I mean,
do you have a good passive wisdom?
Passive wisdom?
Yeah.
Or perception? 17.
It's pretty good. Okay, so the liaison to the Cerulean House, which is in a big building in the center of the city, somewhat near the palace. It is sort of an office building, as well as sort of like an ambassador center where there's lots and lots of offices that are used to liaison between the noble houses of the empire. There's a large office for the imperial family, the Valzefs. There's a couple of houses that are pretty much on par with House Cerulean as far as their influence, their power, their control, their contact with the emperor. But your office is actually, it's what would equate kind of in a house within this building. There's a suite. There's a couple of offices that deal with. You have sort of a branching, spread out family, and your father is the head, but he's got brothers and things like that. And so you've got some people in this office that can they know you. Not super. There's no family here right now. It's mostly administrators and staff and things like that. So you sort of wander through the lobby of this room, this kind of complex within this building, and you show your ring and you're granted entry. It's not a problem. There is what looks like sort of a receptionist at a large desk stacked with books and papers behind him. It butts up against a very tall window that looks out over the city, because you guys are about on the 5th floor of this building. And there's people kind of pacing the room, putting stuff away, going through what looks like mail and scrolls. They're not hurrying, they're not like frantic, but they do look like they've got some busy work going on. And this receptionist is what looks like a human male, kind of shoulder-length, tousled black hair with just a ribbon of gray down the middle. And he's got a pair of like thick black-rimmed spectacles, and he just sort of looks over them. He's got kind of a long, hawk-like nose, and you see him scribbling into what looks like a ledger or something, and he's also tapping a very short wand onto a glowing blue stone and wrapped in like a copper mesh. I gotta change this music. Oy, oy, oy.
And cough.
Oh no, he's looking right at you.
I still cough.
He just kind of looks up and he's like, "Can we get you some sort of tincture or tea, sir? What business do you have here? I recognize you as Master Is there something the office of Cerulean can do for his wizarding heir?"
I need to access the teleportation circle to head to a fortress.
You wish to transport to the capital?
Yes.
Very good. Do you happen to have a seal?
I pull out my
If
seal.
not, one can be a point. Yes, and I believe yours is silver, correct? Nope.
I hear you.
Yes.
I'm not sure if he does. Okay.
I said yes.
Oh,
Silver.
I didn't hear you say yes. I think you cut out before that. Very good. If I may see it. And he takes it from you, and you see him grab what looks like a gold and silver inlaid, very short wand. You can just hold it with the fingertips and just sort of draw a line in gold up the middle of your seal, and hands it back to you. And he says, "This will grant you up to 10 passengers with you, transportation at the Dane Transportation Circle. It will be billed to your family account, of course, but that should get you through no problem."
I immediately thank gentlemen, and I head off to the Dane Transportation.
Okay. From where you're at, it's not far. Both the sort of the administratum office that you have traveled to today, it's sort of in the same neighborhood as the transportation circle. There is not a lot of activity right now, although the circles that are being illuminated are being kind of spat out with people every maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and large groups of people at that. And it seems like there is a huge influx of people coming into the city. You see a lot of them wearing kind of face paint. Some of it looks like kind of smeared war paint with a couple like weird artistic dots all over, which match some of the banners that you've seen being hanged throughout all of the city and the taverns in support of certain characters or houses or organizations being represented by members that are fighting in the free-for-all tomorrow afternoon. As you approach the circle, there's what looks like a gnome in an imperial officer's kind of black and silver robes that kind of tossle past his feet on the ground. He kind of drags his robes around as he walks. He takes your seal, and he has what looks like a similar little gold and silver wand that he just sort of swipes it across your seal, hands it back to you. It doesn't have the gold stripe on it anymore, but he directs you to the transportation circle. Is there anybody going with you, or is this just you? Hello.
I just said it's just me on a quick mission. Are you not hearing me when I talk?
No.
No, you're like cutting out.
I don't hear you at all. I didn't hear any of that, unfortunately. Oh no, we lost Ken.
Ken quits.
The whole party is gone. It's just me talking to myself.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you. So he asks again, will it be just you, Master or will you be bringing any passengers with you?
I just said just me. And no one can hear me?
Well, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
We can hear you now, but it seems like when you are answering me, it's not coming through. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're hitting the button and talking too soon or what, but yeah, we're not getting the first thing you say. Like if I say, will it be you or anybody else?
Oh, and you just cut out. Can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh, what the hell?
How about now? Are we good?
I can
You're
hear you
good now.
both.
Yeah, I can hear everything just fine. It's
Okay,
it's
good.
Ken that sometimes cuts out.
And I think I cut out a little for him too. Must be the internet.
Stupid internet.
So, this being a solo trip for you, you stand in the center of the circle. It glows blue and silver, and all these glyphs kind of light up. And you after a couple seconds, it flashes light and drops. Is gone. So,
Where'd he go?
Harry, as you get back to the estate, you do notice that there are still some remnants of Lady Kethra's retinue, just a couple people, mostly her guard, her personal escort guard. These are individuals with kind of pale skin, dark hair, dark eyes. Some of them have kind of longer pointed fingernails, painted black. They're very unique in their aesthetic, very dark armor or leathers, and carrying kind of foreign-looking swords. Some of them look kind of curved just on the tip. Some of them have a wide curve, and they've got kind of long ornamental black steel handles and things like that. Just kind of giving you a side glance that you've seen them before. You just kind of took that as them being stoic and dutiful, but a couple of them kind of look at you with, I don't know, something of a snarl in their look, if that makes any sense.
How rude.
I mean, none of them like step to you or grip their weapons, but they just have this gaze about them that's like, we tolerate you, and that's it.
Okay, well, I'll just head on, mosey on. Pay no attention.
Are you going, it's about 9 p.m. at this point. Are you going straight to the barracks, or are you...
Yeah, I'll go straight to the barracks.
Alright, yeah. Done. You spend a couple hours. I'll even give you some time on a book if you wish.
Yeah, sure.
And just sort of settling into bed, you take a moment to sort of unpack your armor and lay it on. You at this point, you've got kind of like some lumber situated so that you can hang your armor when you're sleeping at the estate. It's been provided, of course. And just take some time to think about what's going on tomorrow and how important it is, and how to function in a predictable situation like what could be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Koza.
All right.
To the smithy.
To the smithy.
Yeah, there is a kind of what looks like gargantuan horns off of what could look like maybe a massive rhino-like creature. These two horns that are kind of in a arch crossed at the tips formation with kind of a wood frame built behind it, covered in thatchery and things like that. And all of this is nestled between kind of a metal scrap dealer on one side and a kind of a plain drab, almost utility clothing tailor shop, where it's just like leathers and browns and burlap and things like that. Lots of like steel-toed boots, things that you work with. And this cross-tooth hut is about 20 feet wide, and you can hear the tink-tink, a couple of hammers going off at once. And you see that it's actually this kind of bald on top, black-haired, long-bearded dwarf, and he's swinging a hammer onto a glowing piece of metal, and behind him is sort of what looks like a younger dwarf with sort of a chin beard and scruffy at the neck, and he's also swinging what looks like a larger hammer into a larger piece of steel. This younger dwarf. You just see them swinging away. Look up. Yes, to help you.
Hello, good sir. Do you take open commissions?
Of course. Those willing to pay for the services. What did you have in mind?
Well, let me see if I have a certain spell at my disposal. 1 second. Doesn't look like I do. Do you have a piece of parchment and a piece of charcoal, perhaps? Something to draw out with.
Of course. Right over here. He takes you over to, and he just sort of whistles, puts his fingers to his lips and whistles real quick at his what looks like either his assistant or his son or his younger brother or something. He's like, "Oi, Amos, take over to the front office. I'm gonna work with this fella here." Like, right, take care of it. And you see him sort of step over to the. He brings this large, thick block of metal attached to a stick that he's been hitting this. Kind of looks like he's making a shoulder pauldron out of a flat piece of metal. And he's like, excuse me. And he just sort of shimmies past you because you're taking up a lot of space in this little shop. And he starts swinging on the front anvil. And he, the older fella, he just sort of looks up and he's like, I'm Urbosh.
Nice to meet you. My name's Koza.
Koza, pleased to make your acquaintance. What are we thinking as far as a commission here? And he pulls out a piece of parchment. He sort of places some stones at the corners to keep it flat and kind of leans down, and he's got a piece of charcoal, and he hands one to you, and he keeps a piece. And you see him kind of make some measurements across with sort of like a couple of swipes across the parchment.
Okay. I will draw out a kind of crescent moon shape. It's kind of elongated, with like another line on the outward edge. And I'll just look at him and I'll say, I just need a kind of crescent moon shaped blade with the actual edge on the outward side. I just need the head. I can procure the shaft elsewhere. But this is along the lines of what I would like done. And you can add any kind of details you want to it, make it look nice if you feel like going the extra mile. I'd be willing to pay extra for extra detailing, but this is the basic outline of what I would like. It's for a glaive.
A glaive? Interesting. Looks like you're drawing it's like a crescent moon shape?
Correct.
Right. Let's see. For a large weapon, you're planning on welding it with two hands. I would recommend perhaps something of a more of a moiled steel with a carbon finish on the edge, just to keep the whole from bursting to pieces when you slash it with something, but also keeping the edge nice and sharp, you know what I'm saying?
That would be preferable, yes.
Right, so what type of metal were you thinking of using? We've got a variety of metals to work with. You can just have simple tool steel, or we can go with something a little more exotic. Depends on how much you're willing to spend.
Well, does he have, like, the types of metal out on display, or would I have to know what type of metal I want?
No. You hold right there. I'll get you a couple of samples. And he brings over a couple of ingots. He said, This is perfect tool steel. We use it for a variety of uses, mostly weapons and tools. It can be finished in a mild steel and then edged with a fine carbon, kind of a harder metal that keeps a good edge. Or we can use something like this, and that you see him present like a brick of kind of like a greenish aquamarine, blue-green, sort of very slight sheen to it, and the metal itself is a little duller. It doesn't have as brilliant a luster. And he says, this here's Nisium. We can fashion any weapon out of this. All you do is you add about 20% cost as far as how much the weapon would be to make. There's that, and we've got something in that's just from the last month's shipment. This here is Arcalium, and you look, and this is a very bronzy metal. It's not bronze, but yeah, it's got kind of a brassy, bronzy, light, kind of pale gold color to it, and it is not shiny, but it's like sparkly.
What is his most, like, silvery, shiny, bright colored metal?
It's not cheap.
I'd like to see it.
Well, and he sort of walks past you and just kind of pokes his head outside, kind of draws his curtain shut, and walks around the counter and disappears behind like a beaded leather curtain and comes back about maybe 7-8 seconds later with what looks like a small chest, about the size of like a large loaf of bread. Sets it down and pulls a key from his kind of like, he's got like a beard belt where he keeps like little objects kind of stored, and he pulls a kind of a key from it, unlocks this rather small but sturdy looking black metal chest, flips it open, and there is this absolutely brilliant silvery metal, which it's so luminescent and reflective that it almost doesn't have a color. As this here is mithril.
Ooh.
And he kind of takes his hand and pulls it out, and as he sets it down, like, it's not bright in here. There's fires from the forge. He's got a couple of like torch sconces and stuff, but for the most part they look like they've been working in kind of dim light. And this metal seems to like amplify the light around it in what it reflects. And he says, for triple the price of what it costs to make you a weapon, you can have it made out of this wonderful metal. I've got 2 more bricks just like this, and it would be enough to make the blade you're trying to do.
How much would that cost?
And so with a weapon like that, normally like a glaive just made out of carbon steel would cost about 20 gold. But the fact that we're going into a special kind of design and we've both sort of gone in for it, I would say that the work involved to create the glaive would be on par with about 10 gold for the day and a half that it would take for me to make it.
10 gold just for the glaive head?
No, 10 gold for the work that would go into it. So that would be 30 gold. But this being mithril, it's much more of a particular metal that requires very special attention to its construction. I'm gonna have to triple that at the least, and We're talking about 90 to 100 gold if you are all finished with the glaive head.
That sounds perfect, and I will put 5 platinum coins in his hand and kind of clutch his hand with it and say, "This is a down payment. I will be happy to give you the other half once the glaive head is finished." Pleasure doing business with you.
Pleasure doing business with you.
And I will walk back home.
Okay. You know, like a meteor impacting on the ground, you erupt into the circle of the Administorum building, its complement in the capital itself. You do find yourself in the Haven's Crest transportation kind of building. It's hustling and bustling. It's kind of looks like it's kind of coming down. This is, obviously where House Cerulean's sort of base of operations within the capital is, and you know these streets and everything pretty well.
And I head off towards the House of Cerulean.
Would you like to go on foot, or would you like to take
can't hear a word you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you through the wall.
Oh, really? You don't hear me?
I hear you now on here, but I was hearing you through the wall earlier.
Weird. So, do you want to go on foot, or do you want to take, the personal rail system?
Personal rail system.
Okay. So, it's 5 silver to get to use this system. Everybody has to pay. This is the capital. Being a noble doesn't get you that far. But it is just 5 silver. You kind of grab hold of this pole as it's approaching, and put your right foot on the this little foot pad, and it lifts you in the air about 20 feet, and you just sort of zip in a straight line, what looks like behind a couple people who are all traveling on this weird kind of public transportation thing. And you've done this a couple times. It's not your favorite mode of transportation. Not that you have a thing with heights, but it's just jarring. But you are whipping between the streets of these high skyscraper-like castle buildings that sort of dot the whole area in this part of the city. The Grand Palace of the Emperor to your right comes into full view as you dip between buildings, and its large claw-like spires that sort of blot out the sun as it's setting in the Grasping Ridge Mountains behind you. It's a kind of an ominous sight. You've never really been a huge fan of the castle itself. You've been there a couple of times. It's not full of people really who love your family. There's a couple of loyal people that work for the Imperial kind of administration, but it's not your favorite place in the world. So you're kind of glad when you zip between a building that takes it out of view and brings you to a very tall tower surrounded by sort of 3 level structures that's all encased in a wall, where there is something of like a kind of a pine forest kind of garden that surrounds this large tower, and the whole tower itself looks like it's capped with what looks like a huge lion's claw. It sort of encapsulates the top of the tower floor. And there's just blue silk flags that dangle in between its fingers and claws along the top of this tower. And as this public rail system just sort of slows just enough for you to get off, it deposits you at the front gate of this building that is, it's got about maybe a quarter of an acre of property around it that's got these kind of pine trees and stuff that pop up. There's a couple of battlements on either side of the wall just to kind of protect the interests of House Cerulean from the neighborhood around it, which, the roads that you get, you have to kind of cross. It's not too far away from other people's estates or anything like that, but then you've seen this at Dane. It's kind of the same layout. There's 2 robed guards. They're both holding these scepters that look like they're kind of adorned in jewels, and one of them has a goatee beard, and it's somebody that you kind of recognize from one of the house guards. His name is Timolt. You two kind of didn't really grow up together, but you definitely he joined when he was a lot younger, and you've known him for a long time. And the other guy you don't recognize, but he's got blonde hair and dark eyes.
Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we gotcha.
Okay. Said greetings.
Greetings, Master Yuno. Welcome home. Should I alert the master and the missus for you?
Not necessary. I'm only going to be here very briefly.
Understood. Well, welcome home. And you see him kind of nod at the blonde guard, who unlatches the gate, pulls on a chain, and the two doors kind of swing open towards you, just enough room for you to comfortably fit through. The estate is being tended by what looks like a 9-foot tall, very spindly automaton, with sort of these kind of scissor-like hands as it's trimming bushes. There's a couple bushes that look like a large male lion, just sort of in a neat little pose. He's got blue glowing eyes. All of his joints are glowing blue, and he's got kind of a gold sash that he wears around his shoulder and his waist. He just sort of looks down and he says, "Welcome home, Master Yuno."
Hello.
And he doesn't really interact too much. He just sort of greets you and continues with what he's doing. The front doors of the tower, and mind you, there's three levels of like stacked building kind of rooms that surround the tower, and the central gate just sort of opens, and you find yourself in the main hallway of the Cerulean estate. Your house's major domo, Tullis. He's kind of a short, squat dwarven man with sort of a mohawk of white hair, very large round nose, and just sort of a poofy mustache that sort of extends beyond his cheeks. And he just sort of looks up and he's like, "Welcome home, Master Yuno. Well, is there anything the housing staff can do for you this evening?"
I'm on my way to see Simba.
Simba. Right, well, funny you should mention that. Simba was, he had himself a bit of a stomach issue a few days ago. He's at the back of the castle, and he should be within viewing range, of course. But I just would take it easy with her. She seems a little bit. He seems a bit territorial, and not really interested in being touched. Just so you know.
And Yuno's going to head out to the back.
All right, yeah. So Simba is, and we talked about a younger lion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You approach this paddock with a kind of a lazily kind of leaning lion, not a cub, but definitely a younger lion. Maybe about a year old, so to speak, something like that, where it's starting to get like tufts of dark hair around its neck and ears, and it's starting to get a little longer on top. And it's sort of laying on its side, sort of, and you see a kind of a doctor-like figure in sort of these pale white and blue robes with sort of a stethoscope kind of an object and a kind of an eyeglass on his face. He's just sort of tapping a wand sort of all over the whole form, and it looks like he's kind of reading something that you can't see in midair.
I walk up to the cage and go, pss, pss, pss.
Ah, yes. Master Yuno, it's good to see you. What brings you by the animal paddock?
I came to see Simba.
Ah, yes. Well, here he is, as lazy as ever and not interested in following orders.
I think it would
see
depend
the lion
on
just sort
whose
of looks
orders.
up. Well, whenever I tell him to do something, he just kind of looks up at me and gives me the old F.O. Face. But I think he got into some bad squirrels over the last couple days, because something's up with his stomach.
I kind of like wave my hand, not in a spell motion, but in a like, come here, Simba motion.
So after about half a beat, it just sort of pops its head up and looks at you, and you get the feeling like he's sort of looking at you with familiarity. He's not growling at you, but with sort of a weird kind of unfamiliar, like, you look different. Where have you been kind of a look. He just sort of hops up on his hind legs and on his front legs and just sort of walks over. And he's about hip height to you right now and just sort of like finds the bottom of your left hand with his head and gives you the opportunity to scratch him. And he just sort of looks up at you like, what?
You want to come on an adventure, Simba? And I scratch his head.
Scratch his head. Roll a persuasion check, please.
17.
17. Okay. So he kind of gives you a look like, I don't speak English, so... But you interacting with him, it feels like something that he's missed in the recent past. You have been away a lot, but he kind of like nudges your hand, and you get the feeling like he'll follow you. It doesn't matter where it is. And then he kind of like walks over to a bucket and just sort of hacks up real quick, like a mouthful of this rancid yellow, pasty, soupy bile, and you see like a squirrel skeleton just topple onto the ground, and then he kind of shakes his head and growls a little bit, and then walks over to another bucket and grabs like a red chunk of meat and just sort of snacks on it, downs it, and you hear this loud gurgly swallow sound, and then he just sort of stretches his back legs and just ruffles his shoulders and sidles up next to you. And you see the doctor just sort of give him a look like, I knew it was a squirrel. Well, master, it seems he's ready to travel with you. Will you be needing anything from us as far as you want to take some food with you, or you think you can provide for him along the road?
I think I'll be good with that.
Right.
But
well,
just in case he gets hungry, let's take a handful of stuff just in case he wants a snack.
Yeah, he kind of wraps up this in what you've kind of been down here a couple times. You recognize it's called salt paper, and what you do is you wrap this around a hunk of meat, and it kind of extends it doesn't preserve it completely, but it sort of extends its period of time that you can keep it in your bag without it, turning and spoiling. And he hands you about 3 of these, so you can add 3 rations to your inventory for Simba.
All right.
All right.
Me and Simba are going to set off on our adventure home.
Okay. The return trip is also kind of covered under your use of the family liaison office, and you guys make your way back. I will say that you do catch some funny glances as you kind of traverse the streets of the capital back to the transportation center. It's not the craziest animal someone's been seen walking through the streets, but it's definitely rare. That's for sure. So, Koza.
Yes.
All right. So, you head back home, correct?
I do.
All right. It is the evening of the evening of the free for all. This guy says he will have your sword ready by midday in 2 days.
Okay.
So, it won't be ready. Do you want something in the meantime to use, or are you good?
I'm pretty good. I'll probably just end up using my spiritual weapon.
Okay. So, all of you, everyone. We'll say this. Baranor has resigned himself to his room. All of you kind of meet up with Kervish and Maven. They both are chatting in a kind of a side dining room. Everybody kind of catches a late night snack or a meal, and it sounds like Kervish is going to... Oh, hold on. Sounds like Kervish is going to retire for the night with plans to set out early in the morning on a walk, kind of take in the city before the whole city wakes up. He needs a little inspiration, and the two of them sound like they've got plans for maybe a breakfast or another lunch at the Silken Platter, and would like to meet you all at the St. Alisar's Coliseum for the free-for-all, as he wishes to cheer for you all. Just got a bunch of I was trying to do this countdown the other day, and I guess it actually worked, but like, what a
not how you wanted it.
No. What's this say from Bogey? It seems like we're joined by Baranor.
Woohoo!
Right. So,
I mean, Baranor's dead.
yeah,
No
sorry.
Baranor.
I hope you have another character rolled. Luna ate Baranor, and then Luna escaped into the woods. No, the team was just doing some stuff around town. I had you go out and hunt with Luna until the night, and everybody has turned in for the night. And we can say that you, if you wish, you bring home a kind of a killed elk, and so you can add to your inventory elk carcass, and you can do with it what you wish at some point. So all turn in. You kind of show up with a lion. Baranor and Koza and Maven and Kravish, they all just I'd say Kravish and Maven both weren't here for your return. But Koza and Axton and Baranor definitely catch an eyeful when you sort of stroll in with this young lion that seems no leash, because why would there be? Strolling in with this young lion who doesn't seem to be attacking anybody.
Where did you get a lion, if I may ask?
This is Simba.
That doesn't answer my question.
It's Simba.
Alright, we're just gonna roll with it.
Exton, I have a request to test out your smithing skills.
I can try.
Armor with a lion.
So that's barding, I think that's what it's called for an animal. But yeah, I guess I could try.
So
Also,
you will know
little metal caps for his teeth. Turn them into daggers.
I mean, that's something you could probably scare up, like within 10 minutes once you get the fire going there's kind of like a home forge that you've made. It's just out of brick. It's not very big, but it's a blacksmithing check, and the armor would take a little longer than that. It would take a few days to put that together, but the teeth caps, that's not super hard. Just a matter, is he gonna sit still for it?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need to take some measurements. Am I gonna get bitten?
Simba, this is Axton. Axton is cool. Just let him do. He's just gonna make things better for you.
Make an animal handling check, you know.
I can assist.
Yeah, you're like super don't bite me.
Would I get advantage on that? Because he's kind of like...
Is he count as your sidekick yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say advantage, sure.
13.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you know, and he just stares at you like, I really don't want that guy touching my teeth.
Just, Exton, you know, for now, maybe just the barding is probably cool.
Okay, I still need to take measurements, but as long as the tiger, lion, cat thing doesn't move or bite me, I'll be okay.
So I reach in the bag of holding and I pull out one of the salted meats. I say, give this to him. It'll show him you're cool.
Okay, and I toss it to the animal.
Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Looks like it's both 18s.
Wow. Yeah, he takes the meat. He's not going to not eat it. And he kind of like looks up at you and just sort of like plops his rump down like, all right, whatever. Do your thing.
Okay. Do I need to roll anything else for taking measurements or doing the barding?
No, we're going to count this towards your blacksmithing so that you have proficiency in blacksmithing tools now. So go ahead and just roll a blacksmithing check.
Okay, not with advantage.
I would say not. He is like just barely being compliant, and he has large, sharp teeth that you're very aware of.
15.
Yeah, you get your measurements down. We'll count this as a success towards making this armor for this creature. You're going to need 5 successes over the course of, we'll say, a day and a half.
Okay.
All you're really doing is doing like a shoulder pauldron and like kind of a spinal guard. That's typical of this type of armor. It's not going to be super complicated, not going to take a long time, but you're also new at this. So with your now God-given skills, this is your first attempt at making like a complete thing for a creature to wear. So, that sort of leads towards the end of the night. If there is anything anybody else would like to do, we can move to the morning of. Is there anything Baranor does at the end of the night, now that he's got a platform to speak?
Sorry about that, guys. To be honest, I don't know what's going on. But, no, I'm just preparing for the next morning.
Okay. Yeah, arrows are sharpened. You've got a whole new set made, so you can go ahead and refill any of your supplements that you need, up to at least, I think you can carry more than 20 at this point.
I've been carrying way more than 20.
Yeah. You just kind of spend a couple hours before bed with Luna in the room, and she kind of paces, but can feel the kind of anticipation as you sort of fletch a couple of arrows and sharpen a couple of your daggers. And the wind razor doesn't need to be sharpened because it's like super magical, but you kind of run a stone across it as just kind of a practice before
Sure.
you. So, the morning finds you all with an electric energy to the air. The Mazirans seem to have all left the estate, save for a dozen or so servants and soldiers of Lady Kethra who patrol outside, and they keep to themselves as the halls of the mansion are admittedly a bit quieter, and the housing staff seem a little more relaxed in their moods as they hurry about their morning routines. They smile and nod to you as you enjoy a nice breakfast of quail eggs and blood sausage. One of the dining attendants fills your mugs, and she clears her throat as she approaches and just sort of, pardon my lords, but Master Kravish approached me last night. Did he speak to any of you as far as his plans?
No.
No, not to me.
I don't remember.
Ah, very good. Well, he wanted to inform you that he'll be taking in the early morning air before meeting with the Lady Maven at her temple. After a lunch engagement, they will join you at the Colosseum and attend the tournament.
Alright.
You are greeted by Lady Kethra, who is kind of walking down the steps. She's in this long, flowing dress, kind of riddled with silver and sparkly diamonds along the shoulders. Almost looks like a pair of like bird wings in these glittering, dangling silver strips about her shoulders. And she's got kind of a silver, kind of a tiara that wraps around her head. It kind of looks like a bridal veil, as there's some silver and black strings that dangle behind this ponytail that she's got. And looks like she's coming down the steps and sort of assisting with a hand under his arm as best as she can. I mean, she's not a nurse. Sir Luther Hargrove. And he looks like he's sort of nursing a leg injury as he's sort of leaning on a cane. They all sit down, and Sir Luther kind of grunts at each of you, but with a kind of as pleasing and polite a smile as he can. He's like, "It appears the chariot race yesterday was not as, well, fortuitous for House Hargrove as I would to have hoped." Lady Kethra just sort of leans on her elbow. "I told you not to go on that silly race, Sir Luther." Yes, dear, but it had everything to do with House Hargrove's honor and winning the trophy. And he just sort of like looks at his leg and looks at the table, and he starts digging into some breakfast. Everyone's super quiet today. What's going on?
Our
everyone awake? Should we do this another day?
Hey, no, we're good. What were we doing during the chariot race?
You were fighting a plant monster.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Well, sorry we missed all that action. How'd you get the injury?
Well, one of the riders for the Valandiir family decided it'd be a great idea to stab me in the leg with a spear as we traversed the course. Unfortunately, it landed a little more closer to the bone than I would have liked. But that's not going to stop me from entering today's free-for-all. You better believe that House Hargrove's most formidable heir will be there to swing his sword and raise his shield high. And you see Lady Catherine just, Luther, I'm telling you, I think it's a bad idea.
How bad does the wound look?
It does look.
Can we see it?
It doesn't look bad.
Okay.
No, you can't really see it, but like, you imagine that a spear wound that happened yesterday, the family's magical healers are making it better. It looked like it might have. You imagine it was a gnarly injury, getting stabbed right through the leg with a spear.
Sure. I'm gonna. Where he's seated down at the table.
Yes, he is. He's at the end with Lady Kethra on the other corner, and they're about 2 seats away from all of you.
2 seats? Okay. Would it be possible to lean over and touch his arm just gently?
Sure. He your hand doesn't pass through it. It sort of looks to you like
and I'll cast Cure Wounds at first level.
Okay. He just sort of closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. He's like, well, Mr. Baronor, thank you. That was very kind.
Anything I can do to help? Don't expect that kind of help in the arena, though.
Haha! Of course not. Wouldn't dream of it. Don't worry. I'll be looking for everyone and save you for last.
It's a deal. You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you.
I feel like there's some sort of response I should know based on popular culture, but it escapes me for now.
Crown
Indeed.
collectors, we should gather for a super not talking about the free-for-all meeting. Wink, wink.
Oh, wink, wink, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Of strategy. I see. Well, I'll finish my eggs quickly then and give you all your privacy. Come, dear. And you see Lady Kethra just kind of roll her eyes in that very early 90s sitcom kind of way. And he kind of scoops some eggs out of his plate into his mouth, and you see the two of them get up, and he kind of rises with a little more vigor than he had when he was walking in. It looks like he kind of gives the cane to one of the housing staff. Maybe he doesn't need it anymore. Did you, can I have that roll, by the way? Or did you already do it? I don't see it. Let's see, how much you got?
10.
10 hit points, cool. Alright.
It's just first level.
No, it definitely took the edge off. He looks like he's walking with a little more spring in his step. You see, on his way out, you see Luther kind of mutter something to the housing staff that will be all, and give them some room and things like that. So they kind of close the doors behind them. And mind you, this is not a major dining room. This is sort of on the wing that you guys have been staying at. And the door's kind of shut, and you, for the most parts, feel pretty alone.
All right, so
right.
what's up?
So, even though this is the free-for-all, obviously, collectors need to be the final free-for-all. So, I'm thinking that we should work together as normal to carve out a little safety area for us. And at the end, no harm, no foul amongst friends who is left.
Makes sense.
And to do that, Posa, since I know your Mood Weaver gives you the ability to bestow advantage, I would think that, if you were to give it to either Baronor or myself, we would be able to affect at least someone early off from the get-go, from a distance, and whittle some people down before they get into range of Axton.
I like this plan.
Because you're not competing in the contest, correct, Koza?
I may or may not. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Oh,
Interesting.
Probably not, though.
we're like talking about it now, so this would be the time.
Most likely not.
We're making a plan. So, because if you were,
What is
you and
what
I,
is your plan for the overall battle? At least the first few rounds.
I would like to try to condense as many enemies into one spot and slow them down so that really once they get up close between Sin and Baranor, they're pretty much chopped liver by the time they reach the end.
Okay.
So, if you were going to be in the contest, then you should give yourself the ability to cast Entangle or Plant Growth or something that would slow down the mass amount of them and make it difficult terrain. If you're not, then I would take that role, and because get close enough to Axton and he's in melee range, they're not getting past him anyway. But if we can whittle them down between arrows and spells, then he'll have a much easier time of murdering them.
Question for the DM.
Chew your food.
Question for the DM. Would Koza be allowed to help his team members if he's not participating in the free-for-all?
Probably
Well,
not.
that would be. I mean, you don't know. You can do whatever you want up until you enter the arena, and then, I mean, there's like an opening ceremony to the whole event that lasts about 20 minutes. But I mean, you guys have a ready room at your disposal, and you also have the Hargrove booth, the Hargrove kind of viewing area where you can kind of hang out for a few minutes at least. And depending on how certain things last, that would be right up until the time that they have to go to like line up to go in the like the tunnel under the Colosseum where they enter the Colosseum from. Up to that point, I would assume you could do anything. It's just, how long does it last? You don't know if they'll let you into the tunnel with them or anything like that. You don't know that yet.
Alright, well then, I'm gonna give advantage now. Because it lasts until the next roll. It lasts until the roll, or if I use it again, which I'm not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give the advantage on initiative now.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it doesn't say that it expires, so you have this little moat of possibility that kind of, you can feel it in your bones, almost like you know how to react and when to react. You kind of have a better idea on how that's going to go down.
And Axton, since you have your halberd, which has plant growth, we can still enact our plan even without Koza.
That's true. Yeah, I can definitely do plant growth and keep most people away.
Is that 100 feet?
I think so. Plant growth? Yeah.
So, Koza, you will, as you're sitting here talking, all of you will remember that plant growth requires actual plants to be there. And you've all seen the Colosseum a few times now, and there is no plants anywhere. It is just sand all over the place. I'm just reminding you of that because you've already experienced it, and you guys would know that.
Does the plant have to be in the ground, or can I bring a flower in?
I really don't think that matters. Be totally honest with you.
I will druidcraft a flower in Yuno's ear and just say, just put that on the ground. That should help.
You look fabulous.
Poison ivy shit going on.
I think that works. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown.
Yeah, it doesn't say that they're. It just there has to be at least a plant there.
Yeah, I mean it's a normal plant, right? I don't know. Is that a normal plant? I don't. Maybe it's magical.
Be an abnormal plant.
Yeah, it's super.
I could give it to my familiar though, and it could fly it the middle.
And just drop it. I like this plan.
What's your range on your communication with that creature?
100 foot.
100 foot? Yeah, I guess, yeah, if you have it, like, hanging out in the buildings surrounding the, or maybe, like, perching on the roof, you know? What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it just a flower out of the garden. You can go pluck one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Instead of giving it a flower, I have something to give it instead. Oh my god. Assassin vine. I have an assassin vine. I've held that on for, like, months.
Oh, since the sewers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a good month in game. That was a good month and a half ago. I think, something like that.
Maybe even more.
That's pre-Barador.
Yeah, he takes. It's just a clipping from an assassin vine. It's very thorny and it's covered in like these red sort of stripes, and it's very exotic looking. And your raven kind of grips it in its foot.
All right, chum sums, let's do this.
All right.
All right. Trying to get some semblance of battle music going here. I do apologize. Baranor, you don't know this, but
okay.
The Fred boat angle is like super weird now because they don't let me put in YouTube links anymore. So have to yeah, it's weird. You have to search for music on the actual Discord thing. So it's like not as easy to use, and it doesn't let me play what I want.
That's super weird.
Yeah, it's dumb.
You could go old school and rip music off of YouTube using a YouTube converter and then manually drop it into Fredboat.
Oh, can I do that? I bet I can. I'm going to try that.
Or you can
see if it'll let me.
Pay for premium maybe and download your music. And
I don't know. I'm not paying for premium Discord when I'm going to 1D&D soon.
Oh, I mean like premium YouTube?
Nope, you can just rip it. There's a converter. Joe, come on. We pirated music for the radio station for years.
Years. Yeah, years. Tons of years. So you guys get to the St. Alisar's Coliseum. It's packed. It takes you forever to get in there. It's about 11:30, half till noon right now. It takes forever to get in there. There are people that are, kind of, you feel that same kind of wave over you of magical energy when you approach. All of you, not needing a ticket, but having paid your entry fee, you all have this token that you hold in your hand. That is, by the way, going to be 50 gold from everybody entering. So I'm going to need 50 from Baranor, Axon, and Yuno.
And what about Simba?
Simba does not count. He can't even read.
Sweet.
Does not count. So you all find your seats, and you're gonna have Baranor, and Axon. You've got about 5 to 10 minutes before you guys have to report to the under barracks, where you all line up and get yourselves ready for the event itself. But for now, you kind of help the elders, Sir Hargrove and Penelope and Sir Thorsten, into their booth to watch. There's a number of guards from the House Hargrove staff that follow you and kind of keep post up on the corners of this room. You guys can all oversee the stadium on a whole. You're sort of in the, I want to say, the southwestern quadrant of the stadium itself. And you got a good view. There's right in the middle of the the arena are these two just enormous bronze or brass statues of mounted warriors. One of them looks like it's got an arrow, a bow and arrow, with this long flowing cloak. The other one just looks like a warrior holding an axe and a sword in both hands. And they're about 30 feet tall, maybe 30 feet long, 20 feet wide. They're pretty big, or 10 feet wide. They're pretty big. They stand out. There's also you see those four large stone or steel pillars, one in each quadrant of the arena, and there's like chains and stuff hanging from them. You guys have seen that this is where they chain up like animals or beasts or creatures that people have, to create kind of an obstacle. And right now there's just people kind of sweeping the sand and collecting what look like bits of garbage or there's like sword hilt a guy pulls out of the sand. They're just kind of cleaning it up, getting it ready. Is there anything anybody would like to do before the ceremony starts?
No.
I'm going to telekinetically tell my familiar that once it starts to fly over the middle where the most people are and drop the vine.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
15.
It just kind of takes the little vine in its beak and transfers it to one of its feet. You see it kind of bouncing on one foot as it grips this thing, and you see it take off and fly in sort of a spiral or a real lazy circle around the arena and just sort of perch itself in a spot where you can see it. It's across the arena on one of this large canopy roofs that sort of drape over the arena itself. Just sort of, buffet its wings and land and just sort of sit there. It looks like it's looking around and waiting.
It's all in your head, Joe.
It's all in my head. It's it. So, you hear these giant trumpets start to sound, and Baranor, Axton, and you definitely take this as a cue that, all right, time to get down there.
I'll make my way down.
This is how they felt the Knight's Tale.
Cast prestidigitation and shoot sparks up behind all of us as we enter.
Yeah, the tunnel, you arrive at the tunnel. It's well lit. There's torch sconces that are sort of, or sconces that are sort of lining the hallway. That's just packed with people. And you know that there are similar tunnels sort of in every quadrant of the arena at the bottom. So you get the sense that these are not the only people that you're going to face while you're out there. One of them looks like an absolutely enormous kind of humanoid. Definitely got some ogre in him. He's got tusks that sort of protrude from his mouth. One of them's really long, almost as high as his eyeball. And he looks like he's carrying two of these real gnarly-looking spiked maces. There's also, a smattering of warrior-like people. You also see that what looks like a gnome that's sort of riding this bipedal mechanical leg, kind of like an AT-ST walker kind of a contraption. It looks like it's got a couple of these like barrels, like long steel cannon-like barrels mounted to either side. It looks like he can kind of move with his elbows in different directions. Rogues, barbarians, all manner of melee class kind of warrior people choking this tunnel, and you can hear people clapping and screaming and starting to really get pumped up as these trumpets blast. Womp, 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 womp. And these sparks erupt behind the three of you as you kind of scrapes this tunnel and reach the rear end of it. And everyone just kind of turns and looks at you and just gives a kind of a all right, kind of a look. And the sparks cease, and you find yourselves at the rear of this tunnel population. Everyone else, Koza and the Hargroves and Lady Kethra and all of you up in the booth, you kind of you you feel these trumpets resound and bring the audience down to a hush. At about this time, you see two humanoids in long, flowing robes of various colors, mostly like blues and greens and purples, and like trims of silver and gold. They just sort of float over, and you see them wave their hand around each of them in front of one of the warriors, the big bronze warrior statues. And just for a couple seconds, you see the statues bend and twist and move and raise their weapons high above their head and kind of change position before freezing back into place. And from above, right where pretty much where Yuno's familiar is, this kind of a heavily armored, hooded figure, this wide mantle of bronzy gold armor, shoulder pauldrons, and just like dripping with glittering banners and little tassels from different parts of his kind of gold armor. You can't see his face. His whole face is shrouded by a kind of a white gold trimmed hood, and this long kind of tuft of gray hair erupts from where the chin area would be and trails down to about his midsection. He carries this huge mace and a gleaming shield, and he just sort of floats down on this large disc right in between these two wizards. And one of the wizards takes his mace and hands him what looks like a long rod, and he speaks into it, and his voice booms across the entire arena. Welcome one and welcome all. The Dawn Father blesses this day and these proceedings. Let us all rejoice in the glory of warfare as the Allhammer shines down and the Platinum Dragon beams his power over all of us. This 74th Ellington Classic free-for-all tournament shall show the might and will of those destined for glory. There can be only one at the end, but what an end he shall endure. His renown shall burrow through the ages and blast his name into the heavens as the one true warrior of his era. Let the free-for-all tournament commence! And you see him bring his wand down and his shield down, and this blast of white glowing energy erupts from him, and you see his armor recede and kind of form a much more diminutive kind of silvery gold robe that he then just sort of floats down onto the disc, and the three of them drift up into a box somewhere to your left, a little higher up. And as you kind of watch him watch the three of them disappear into their box, you catch the sight of the Duke of Dane. He is a couple of boxes over, and he's actually leaning over the side, and he just kind of looks over at all of you and kind of gives you a slight nod, and you see kind of a younger fella behind him that looks very much like him, sandstone-like skin, amethyst eyes, kind of a shock of these blue crystals on top of his head, and he's kind of dressed in like kind of paladin armor. He's got like full plate with this really elaborate cape that drips behind him, and just kind of taking his gloves off. Doesn't look like he's departing down for the tunnels. It looks like he's kind of settling in next to his family to watch. You do see the Duke's wife, dark-skinned, beautiful woman in radiant colored gown with her hair done up in curls and links. And as the wizards disappear, you hear this large blast and these drums. And the doors, Baranor, and Axon, you see light erupt in front of you as the doors swing open. Everyone starts moving, and there's been a few people that have joined, so you're kind of in the back middle, so there's people behind you, and everyone's moving forward, and you see yourselves kind of erupt from the threshold, and the blinding light of the midday sun blasts down upon you. You can hear the crowd, and then these drums, as you all spread out in separate directions. You can see doors on other sides of the arena. They also erupting with fighters. There's just dozens of these creatures and characters that are filling up the space and mingling out about, and you can see some of them kind of like finding their starting position. You do see a couple people like they're discussing something. You look to your right, you see another group of similar people that looks like they're kind of sticking together, kind of like you guys thought you might. And the whole group just kind of like, you hear this, the crowd is going wild, and all of the warriors just kind of look to each other and look to their teammates if there are any. You do see this huge, 15-foot tall minotaur-like creature kind of step out and crouch from under the door, and then he's got kind of pale skin, this huge axe in one hand, and it's kind of crowded. It's kind of difficult to see everybody in the arena as you guys are all on the ground floor, but the whole place looks it's not uncomfortable. You guys aren't like bumping into people, but it's pretty densely populated. So, having said that, we frickin' do it. Move everybody to the map.
Oh
Can
god.
you make a little card or character for Simba?
I will give you Chonky Boy. Alright, so, as you can see, there are creatures all over this map, so go ahead and put yourselves wherever you wish. Just so you know, not all of these creatures are as they look on the map as they are in the game. I just had to repurpose a few of these icons.
Sure.
Well, let's all stack up on each other, guys.
Right, where do we want?
I'm gonna give you access to Chonky Boy.
How about right in here, guys?
Right there?
You all see the...
Yeah.
In the interim, Joe or Dad, I will work on an image for.
Call me DM.
Fine, DM. I will work on an image for Simba and send it to you while all this is going on.
Okay. I'm just trying to give him access to. No, I don't want to do that.
That's weird. It's not letting me put character.
Looks like it changed a bunch of stuff about why is everything changing today? There we go. All right. Oh, I got it. So I'm gonna give Ken access to Chonky Boy.
It's not letting me put my guy. I don't know why.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Alright.
All right, Ken. Can you place Chonky Boy down there, and we can call that?
Chonk is already there.
Simba. Sorry.
Chonky is already there.
All right. Linda, what is up with you, girl? Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting you, but I'll put her on there.
It's not letting me put Baranor's icon or Luna's icon.
Really? I don't know why. You guys all have access. Why don't you maybe reset?
Alright, let me try
Got
that.
access. It looks like Yuno's got access to his character. You guys are always too big, though. I'm gonna fix that.
They're larger than life.
Yeah.
Let's see if that helped at all.
Right. Ken, are you able to move him around?
The Chonky Boy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pick him up.
No, it is not letting me drag and drop the
Oh, great. That shouldn't make this hard at all.
right.
At all. How many people do I have to run around the screen? All right, there's Luna. Can you move Luna now?
Let me see. Yes.
All right, there's Baranor.
I just don't know why it wouldn't let me place them. I don't know why. And I
Okay.
can move. Yeah, I can move him around. All right.
Okay. All right. So, obviously, let's just to get it out of the way, let's go ahead and roll initiative. Let me get a little thing out. Hold on before you do it. Just wait. Let me see if there's stuff I got to get rid of. I think we're good. Remove turns, just in case. Clear. Yeah. Okay. All right. Everybody, go ahead and roll your initiative.
I
And
forgot to click my character.
I'm going to split up my. Wow. I'm going to split up my initiatives amongst like 3 groups of people.
That's
This
a
is
nice.
a great idea.
I get advantage and I still don't get to go first.
What'd you get?
I got a 23, but Baronar got a 23, but I'm pretty sure his dex is better than mine.
Yeah.
My dex is
All right.
18, so.
We're going to roll for all these guys. I will say this, Baranor, make a quick observational check, a quick perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's not waste all these good rolls here. Roll 20. Shit.
Three not so great initiative rolls and 1 really good one.
Well, two good ones. Oh, for the enemy.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, for me. Okay.
Neither of us go first, actually.
All right. Ooh, 20 perception. All right, Baranor.
Or you
guess
know,
what
sorry,
see?
you know. Yeah.
You look over here, and you see Al-Shari, the large, armored tabaxi black lion-like creature that you fought in the sword fighting competition. He is right here, and he doesn't seem to be looking at you. He seems to be looking in the northwestern direction towards the statues. So he's kind of paying attention elsewhere, but you definitely catch sight of him and definitely recognize him.
Okay. That's this guy right here?
Correct.
Okay.
Joe, can you add me and Simba into the...
Turn order?
Yeah.
Betcha. I'm guessing you can mess with it once I add it, so try that. Yes, no?
Let me enter them. Now I think you just need to rearrange the order, and we should be good.
I'm only seeing zeros still.
Here we go. And hit enter.
Okie dokie.
Typed it in, it just didn't hit enter, so
Okay.
fuck me.
This is why Roll20 is just amazing. So, all of you are standing there. You've got all of you're kind of posted up where you wanted to be. Koza.
Yes.
Koza, you are up in the stands. You're sitting next to, you're kind of on the end at the booth where there's the most room because you're rather large. And you're sitting next to Reese and Lady Penelope with the elder Sir Ulysses Hargrove. He's in like kind of a wooden high-backed chair, almost like a meager throne. At the back of the booth, there's a couple guards, one on either side of him. And there's what looks like a passing staff member who's got kind of a tray of cheeses and fruit, and things like that, nuts and berries. And you guys are kind of picking from it as she kind of walks around, and she looks like she disappears into another booth adjacent down that little alleyway you guys are on. Is there anything you'd like to do as it seems like this is getting started?
Well, I don't believe I'd be able to cast any spells at one of my compatriots to kind of help them. So I'll probably just use thaumaturgy to boom my voice and be like, "Go, Crown Collectors! You guys got this!"
Make a performance check.
Ooh. I don't know how well I am at those. One minuto, por favor.
The first time for everything.
Performance. That's a +0, so I better hope this is good.
Yeah.
That's a 2.
Yeah, your thaumaturgy booms your voice, but since you... it's almost like there's a small delay between what you're saying and what you can hear because it's so loud. And it starts to boom. And as you speak, it's got that weird reverberation where you're hearing what you're saying, but it's a little late, and it kind of makes you trip your words to the point where you're just like, "Go, collect, crown, yeah, go, you, yeah, and he kind of messes
God
you up.
damn it.
Everyone just sort of turns to you and is like, shut up!
I think someone in the stands just insulted us.
In
Yeah,
the
and
meantime,
you guys definitely hear this blah blah blah, and you can't even understand what they're trying to say.
in the meantime,
Oddly makes me mad and makes me feel inspired.
You won't like
Raven
him when he's
Familiar
angry.
is gonna come and drop the vine right in here.
Okay, hold on, let me back out because I can't see where you're. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me see if I could just put a little sprite there just for now, just to kind of give you guys a visual. I think I've got some plants buried in my image list. Okay, we'll consider that he drops it. There's just, you guys don't even really notice this, and you almost don't even really notice it, although you're kind of looking for it. There's just this little sprig of something that lands right there. I wonder if I have a better picture than that. Probably not. So as you're all standing there and the tension is gaining and everyone's just sort of the crowd is just chanting and chanting and chanting until finally you hear this loud and instantly everybody in the arena, they start diving towards each other with their swords and their axes and beating into their shields, and you see a couple of flashes of arcane energy kind of across the arena in a couple of places. Al-Shiri is first. He is going to reside himself with the fact that he was looking in this direction. He is going to dive towards this creature, and you see him take his shield and his spear and just sink his spear right into the side of this gnoll who looks like it was turning in this direction to go after this guy. This guy right here, the closest to Axton, is going to attack Axton. He's going to make 2 slashes with this kind of a short-looking glaive. It just has this curved blade at the top, and it's got like a 3 or 4 foot handle that he just sort of slashes at you twice with. One's going to be a 22 to hit. The other one's going to be a 19. I think only
Both will
one
hit.
Right?
Both
will hit. All right.
19 is my AC.
All right. That's he rolled low. That's only 7 points of slashing damage. That's going to end his turn. This guy right here is going to come and he sees Luna. He sidles right up to Luna and he takes this big wide-bladed sword and just slashes right down at her with this huge attack. He rolled very low. That's a natural 3. That's going to be a 7. Or no, excuse me.
Misses.
No, not a 7. That's going to be an 8.
Still misses.
All right. Yeah. Luna just sort of sees him coming, and she's a dog. She's got quick reflexes. Just sort of dives out of the way. He's then going to come around, and you hear him go, and his eyes glow red for a moment. He's going to slam down his sword again, and that's much better. That's going to be a 19.
That hits.
Okay. He's going to dump some rage damage into this for 8 points of slashing damage.
All right.
He catches her right on the shoulder, and you see this deep scar just instantly sort of rip her fur apart on her shoulder area. That's going to end his turn. This guy is going to throw, this guy right here, he is going to back up over here, and he's going to throw something at you guys. I need everybody in the group to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yay, my favorite. 5.
That's a failure.
16.
16 saves. 17 saves. I need one from... Oh, wait. Is that everybody? Yeah, that's... I need
Doggo?
your companions.
Okay.
I need a dex save from Simba and from Luna.
It's a 17 for Luna.
Hold
Luna
on,
saves.
I gotta figure out Simba. Give me 1 second here.
What is the lion's dex?
Hold on. Gotta do just a straight roll. I'm adding. It's doing it based off of mine, not. D&D Beyond is not kind of set up for using a lion as your.
Oh, well. It's a +2. I think you have a +2.
14.
As well.
Simba gets a 14.
14 also saves. So who failed? That would be
Me.
Axton failed. So you take 11 points of fire damage, and everyone else takes 5. as he throws this bomb the size of a cantaloupe it's tumbling towards you with this large wick, and you can hear you're briefly distracted, Axton, by the guy directly in front of you and all of the cacophonous noise of the clashing of steel and wood and people punching and grunting and screaming and not to mention the deafening sound of the crowd around you. This bomb goes off, just kind of blasts apart, and it's not as powerful as you kind of imagined it would for its size. And he looks kind of annoyed that that didn't really catch any of you off guard. But this whole area now fills with smoke. Circle. Let's see here, 15 feet radius. Yeah, so this whole area is heavily obscured. Everybody got that?
Yep.
Okay. That officially ends that quadrant's turn. Baranor, you are up.
All right. All right. So it's heavily obscured. So I can. How much sight do I have?
I would say
no sight at all.
Disadvantage on anything. Got disadvantage on any line of sight from where you are.
All right. Then I will move to over here. So op attack, I guess, against me.
Yeah, so I'll say you definitely know that Baranor is moving outside of that large cloud. But Axton, you don't notice this.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
And Luna's going to move over here.
Okay. I would say that Axton, you do see that. So you see that Luna is kind of right on the edge of where this cloud is. Okay.
Okay. All right. And if there's no attacks coming at me, I will attack this guy right here.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark.
Alrighty. Wish there was a way for you to do that, but I will Hunter's Mark him.
Alrighty. And then... Okay.
I'm just undoing what I did.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. And then I'll take one shot at him, and then Luna will take the other attack. So first attack probably misses.
Yeah, 11 misses.
Yeah. Alright. Luna's gonna go in with her attack then. And because she's next to Axton, she gets pack tactics.
Next to Chonky Boy. She's next to Simba too.
Right, but Simba's not engaged with with him.
Gotcha.
Alright, that's a nat 20.
Ooh. Tear his throat out.
Alright. I don't know what all that was all about.
Yeah, I don't count. So I don't do natural 20s the way Roll20 does.
Okay.
I feel like I should have probably made this clear. I don't think I ever really have. I take the first number and double it instead of counting two, because what they do is they use 2 dice instead of 1. And I always say that you take the rolled dice value, double it, and then add the modifier.
Right,
What they
but
did.
her attack does 2d4 plus 5. So I rolled a 1 and a 3, it looks like.
And a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, I don't... And then plus 5, yeah, so it'd be 4...
9 plus 5. All right, okay.
So
You want
4...
to just roll with that damage?
Just the 2d4? Is that what you're talking about?
The plus 5 is the modifier, right?
Right. So it'd be 8 plus 5 if you doubled the dice rolled.
Yeah, this is dumb. How they do this. I really hate Roll20 so much. I can't wait to be off of it. Yeah, I'll take 8 plus 5 if that's the way you want
Yeah,
to do it.
8 plus 5 is fine.
Right.
And then
Okay.
I don't think I get the Hunter's Mark for that, for her attacking, so I think that's my turn.
Okay. Mr. Wizard. It's your turn. You have the route of the place. You see a vast sea of violence before you. People getting slashed across the chest. People slamming warhammers into shields all around you. The crowd is just cheering, and it's all crazy. What do you want to do?
I'm going to start by backing up over here.
Okay.
And I'm going to launch a fire bolt. This
A
guy.
fire bolt.
With a B.
Which guy? Sorry.
The guy we've been attacking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just noticed he moved away from me.
I wouldn't say you could see that, no. Especially the fact that you're looking at the guy in front of you. Though you didn't see him.
Oh, come on.
18 to hit.
Sure.
18 hit.
Does. Certainly does.
10 points of fire damage.
10 points of fire damage. He's looking pretty rough. I mean, he's taken some hard hits. He's kind of, he's definitely got a look of regret that he attacked this group that all seem to be working together, and the fact that now he can't see most of you. I will say that he did see you leave, so he definitely tracked that you left, but he doesn't know how many people are still in this cloud.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to telekinetically shove him.
Okay. Strength check on his part. That's a 6 plus 2 is 8. Where do you want him to go?
He fails, so I'm going to move him 5 feet closer to these guys.
Alright, so Luna and Axton both go ahead and take your attacks of opportunity as he is flung away from you.
I can't make an attack of opportunity. It's a forced movement.
Is that true? Oh boy. So Luna doesn't get one either. Okay.
They have to use either a move or reaction to move
Yeah.
in order for me to get an attack.
That sucks.
That's fine.
Well, he is not in melee range at this moment.
Well, he's in melee
okay.
of Axton, isn't he?
He is.
Well, Simba gets to go, so what would you like Simba to do,
I'm going to just have Simba move closer to me. And then Simba's going to sit. I'm going to pet him.
Alright. Now, free action to pet. You give him scritches. He seems really concerned with what's going on, so your scritches don't really do much. Alright. I'm going to do some moving around over here. These guys are going to couple up, and you start seeing them swinging into each other. There's a riotous ruckus and commotion around all of you. You see a large gnoll-like creature with heavy armor and this really heavy spiked ball flail just sort of raise it above his head and bring it down on someone's shoulder pauldron. You see it just crumple them into a heap on the ground, and he looks down at this creature and just continues to savagely assault this armored individual on the ground. You start to see blood erupt from his arm between his armor plating. Over to your left, you see what looks like the gnome in the bipedal mechanized kind of mech just start to walk over, and you see him spin around, and you see his elbows go into his torso a little bit, pull these two levers, and you hear this doosh doosh as these fireballs just sort of erupt from the sides of this thing and blast, in this direction and this direction, just and it just sort of scatters people prone for a moment as they react and start to block sword swipes from nearby warriors. Let's see. Axton, you are still in the cloud, yes? So you don't see nothing. But you get to go next.
I shall attack this one here.
Alright.
Well, that's a fail.
It happens. Oof.
Yeah.
My second
Sucks.
attack. Damage.
Alright. Is that with your halberd?
That is with my halberd, yep.
Alright. Make a quick, let's see. Nope, you don't even have line of sight. Not yet. I would say you have line of sight of that twig that fell, but you can't actually see it.
Oh.
I will say this. You definitely know that this is where said he was going to have the raven drop the plant, but you don't have eyes on it quite yet. You got a couple things in your way.
Cool. I will then use my bonus action to go into my tunnel defense
Okay.
in my turn.
Alright. This guy over here These two are going to couple up and start swatting into each other. This guy has no idea where he is, so he's going to... Let's see here. He's going to leave in this direction, so how much does it take for him to get here? 15. Good enough. Alright, so he is going to exit the cloud, and then look around and see Axton, and he's going to sidle up next to Axton. He's going to take 2 big swipes.
Okay, as soon as he moves within 5 feet of me, because he's moved more than 5 feet, I get an attack.
Okay, go ahead and make that attack.
Where is it?
Boy.
17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And I will make that a menacing attack.
Alright. Do you get to do that on an opportunity, or is it just a melee
Any attack.
Oh, wow. Is that a wisdom?
Even ranged.
Okay, that's a 17 on that wisdom save.
Yeah, so he's not afraid of me.
And he got double 17s plus 5 for each
So
of his
yeah,
attacks.
both will hit me.
Attacks.
There's no point in like really having armor nowadays. Just doesn't matter.
Well, when you roll high, you roll high. That's going to be 12 points of slashing damage as he comes down hard with this wide-bladed, double-handed sword. And catches one right across your chest, and the other one he just swings back around and just lands just a solid hit right under your armpit. You can feel the razor sharpness of the blade pierce your soft armpit area as blood just sort of like starts to pour down the side of your body. All right, that's going to end his turn, and Al-Sheri is going to come back on the top of the round. And he's just continuing. He doesn't see any of you guys really, or at least he doesn't. He does round around this side, so you feel like he might start to notice your group. But he's still attacking this guy, and you see him just sort of stabbing and twirling his spear and then stabbing again. But he's occupied, so Baranor, you're next.
I will go ahead and take another shot at this guy right here. I don't need to go sharpshooter on this one.
Going after the knoll that Al-Sheri's fighting?
No, I'm going after this guy right here.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, so that's a 26 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Alright. 13 plus Hunter's Mark, and I'll just I'll just roll this 2 dice for sneak attack as well, because he's next to Axton. So, another 3 points of damage.
So is that 16?
Yep, 16 total.
Nice.
Then Luna's gonna come up. Actually, she's gonna go on the opposite side to get advantage. Does a 17 hit?
Does.
Alright. 9 points of damage.
9, yeah, he's looking rough. He's starting to really take some hits big time. And he actually drops to one knee for a second and holds his kind of chest, and just as he drops to one knee, Luna just attacks him, and he's trying to fight Luna off. Luna's kind of biting on his arm and doing that classic kind of canine unit forearm grab as he's just like, get off me, you wretched beast!
That's my turn.
All right, you're up next. Kind of butted up against the back wall with Baranor and Simba sort of being your front vanguard. What would you like to do?
Alright, so I am going to cast Firebolt. I'm going to use my Robe of Spell Splitting, and I'm going to hit this guy and this guy.
Alright.
That is 24.
Oh yeah, that hits. Both.
11 points of fire damage.
Yeah, alright. This guy, you see him just sort of fighting off Luna, and Luna just sort of backs away just in time as you kind of force this firebolt from both hands, and the energy travels through the sleeves of your robe, and 2 firebolts erupt from your arms. One hits the sword-wielding barbarian-looking guy. The other one hits the glaive-holding kind of bandit-looking thief, and just as Luna pulls away from his arm, this firebolt hits him square in the chest, and he just falls down, and he is unconscious. This guy kind of takes it like a champ, though. He's not really shook.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to shove this dude.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's low. That's an 8. And
That
he gets
fails.
pushed. Yeah, which way you want him to go?
Back 5 feet away from Axton.
Okay. Alrighty.
And that'll end my turn.
What would you like Simba to do?
Simba is just going to chill.
He's just going to chill. Okay. Alright. This guy right here is going to approach, having killed somebody next to him. He's going to close the distance 30 feet. Yep. And he is coming right at you. All 3 of you. And he's going to attempt 2 attacks. Let me think. He doesn't see... Yeah, he definitely sees Simba as a threat. He's a lion. He's a small lion, but he's also a hyena guy, so maybe there's some sort of genetic rivalry. So he's going after Baranor and Simba. He's got this large, gnarly-looking hand axe, but it's, like, huge. And he's got a shield in another hand with, like, little spikes and stuff sticking out of it. The attack on Baranor is a 13. The attack on Simba is a 19.
Baranor does not get hit by that.
Alright. Attack on Simba does 10 points of slashing damage.
I'm going to project my ward and absorb that.
Okay, that's 10. Everybody else up there, these guys are moving. You see them moving around and kind of working around each other. These two kind of couple up and start moving around each other. And there's just a lot of, it's just a chaos. There's just chaos everywhere. Axton, you're the next that you are able to do something.
Okay, I will make 2 attacks against this guy with the sword, I suppose.
Okay.
18 to hit.
18 definitely hits.
And 24 to hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will then move. And then use my bonus action to use my second wind.
Okay.
To try to regain some health. I regain... that's what? 15 hit points.
Nice.
Okay, I'm done.
Okie doke. So, this guy right here is going to back up. Actually, he's going to move a little closer so he can see this concentrated group of people here. And he's going to take 2 smaller little objects out of his belt. He's going to flick them with his thumbs. You see them spark, and he's going to toss them at all 3 of you. Or actually, all 4 of you. So I'm going to need... it's 2 hit. So that's a 23 to Baranor, but only a 17 to Yuno.
I was going to cast shield.
Yep.
That definitely hits Baranor.
That is 7 points of poison damage as these little tiny, little puffs, these little burst sprays, impact on your armor and start to spread real quick, and you're just like burns your lungs, something fierce. You see this guy right here move into position. He actually is going to... Can he make it? I think he can make it. Yeah, 15. I'm going to have him roll an acrobatics check. That's a 22. That's great. He's going to actually climb the chains of this pillar and climb up to the top of it. Once he gets up there, he's sacrificed 2 of his shots, but you see him pull these long metal cylindrical objects out of his belt, and he aims one and he fires it at... He's going to fire it at Luna. Luna's the closest he can see. You know what? Let's see here. Who's he going to fire at? That's not fair. 1, 2. Actually, no. He's going to fire at this guy right here that Alshiri is messing around with. So let's see if he hits him with one of his shots. That's definitely a hit. He's going to blast apart his shoulder with this pow! This object that he holds in his hand with kind of a wooden handle. And you see him immediately start to pull. He splits it open, pulls something out of his pocket, and starts to shove something back into it. It looks like he's getting it ready to fire it again. That's going to end his turn. Alshiri is going to attack, and this guy here is going after this halfling, and he starts stabbing at him with short strikes from these two short swords in his hand. Baranor, you are next.
All right, so bonus action, I'm going to move my hunter's mark to this guy that's in front of me. And then I will move to here so I can get some flanking with Chunky Boy, or the lion. The lion Chunky Boy? I don't know. And then I'm going to... Timba, excuse me. All right. Yeah, I'll just take a regular shot at him. 25.
25 hits.
Ooh, 6 piercing. But I do get sneak attack and hunter's mark. 7 points of damage. That was a flat roll because I'm at disadvantage for a long range attack and advantage for having flanking. Just FYI, they can cancel out for a flat roll. So 7 more points of damage. So
Right
13
on.
total. Luna's gonna then come over, and she's gonna flank. Flanking really doesn't matter with her, but she's gonna do a bite attack herself. That probably misses. 12.
Yep. Yeah, it misses.
All right, that's my turn.
All right. You're next, bud.
So, Yuno's kind of pissed. So, he's going to grab his staff, which he has spells stored in. He's going to summon a shadow spawn out of it.
Okay. Are you able to summon that yourself, or do you need me to do it?
Drop him right
There he is.
behind this dude.
Okay.
And just for posterity's sake,
Does he act with you, or does he need his own initiative?
he acts after me.
Okay.
He shares my initiative and goes after me.
You have a
and
0.1 on your dex against his.
I'm going to make that a despair.
Okay.
So this dude's movement is reduced to reduced by 20 until the next turn.
His
Every turn
speed?
that he's
Cool.
is reduced by 20.
Okay. Let me give him a little... what looks like slow.
And-
Let's see. Here we go. A snail. Okey-doke.
As a bonus action, I'm going to shove him.
This guy right here?
Mhm.
Which direction?
Hold on, I want to see something.
It's high.
It doesn't say that I can't push him 5 feet into the ground.
Well, he got a 23 on his strength save.
Then he goes nowhere.
Okay.
So that will end my turn.
All right, Mr. Simba.
Nope, shadow spawn.
Oh yeah. Right. I should probably... So I don't do that again. Get him in there.
So... Alright, so I'm going to use my Chilling Rend attack. It's an 18 plus 5 to hit. Which is
Oh, yeah.
23. And... Sorry, what's the damage? 1d12 plus 3 plus 3. Okay. 16 points of cold damage.
Dang. He slashes him with these frozen, dark, shadowy claws, and you see these icicles just form. These little frosty icicles form in the wound that this large hyena-like creature sustains. All right. Is that all it can do?
Yes.
All right. Now it's Simba's turn.
And Simba is going to attack, and it has pack tactics, so... That's a natural 20 for Simba.
Okay.
A claw. So... 1d8. 8. So double, that's 16. Plus strength is 4, so 20 points of damage.
20. Yeah, he's down.
And
This guy
Just-
gets ambushed.
just for good measure, because Simba has multi-attack, he's going to claw him again.
Claw him again?
'Cause-
All right, that's
because
the lock.
he was
Go ahead and roll it, but that's a auto crit. You can roll to see if you get a natural 20, because that's an automatic death save loss.
He did not get a natural 20.
Right.
It's okay. And
He is bleeding out. Like
6
quick, like
plus
gushing.
10 points of slashing damage.
Yeah. Well, he's already at 0.
Well, Simba's just it's
Hacking
more
away.
for show
Yeah.
at this point. And Simba's gonna put some of the chunk of flesh he just clawed off in his mouth. Snack.
The knoll meat. Would say he probably doesn't enjoy it as much as the steaks that he gets at home. All right.
A lion eating a hyena. I've seen this before.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they prefer it over the zebras that they're both fighting over.
I was meaning more Lion King, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they eat the hyenas there either. So, Paxton, you definitely see across the arena, as you're getting ready to swing at this guy in front of you, you see somebody over here that you recognize.
Oh, no.
Milling around and swiping at people with ease, finesse, kind of a very highly skilled swordsman wearing red and blue, kind of lightweight plate armor on his shoulder pauldrons, with sort of a tough leather on his cuirass. That is the visage of Goromir Bloom, who is just dicing people to shreds, moving through the crowd as you see this very large minotaur over here steps into place where it looks like he's going to into the middle of this action. You see him drop this gentleman here unconscious and sink his sword straight into his head, twist the blade, and as he raises it as he pulls the blade from the man's head on the ground, he then goes right into a flourish as the Minotaur brings down this huge war axe. He deflects it, climbs up the blade, does a spin, and sinks his short sword right into the Minotaur's clavicle. You hear the Minotaur and toss him off, grabs Goromir Bloom, throws him, and as it looks like he's going to ragdoll, he twists his torso and lands a 3-point landing, skidding backwards a few feet. He readies his blade and dives after the Minotaur once again. It is, at this moment, that is, okay, I will say that Baranor and you can definitely see at this point across the way, right over here, Sir Luther in his armor. He's carrying a large, wide buster sword in one hand, and in the other he is carrying he's over here, by the way. He's carrying a large, wide-bladed buster sword that he is just mercilessly swinging at this guy in front of him. In his other hand, with these little bony protrusions that could be spikes or probably teeth, you see the land shark platinum shield that he had made of the large head fragment of the land shark of the Shambling Field you guys fought a few weeks ago. And he is just kind of battering people away with it, stabbing people with his sword. You also see him get approached by this rather large dwarf in armor and just kind of crack Sir Luther in the back of the head with his warhammer, which catches him off guard. He spins around and he catches another blow to his chest as you see the metal armor on Sir Luther kind of crunch inward a little bit. Let's see here. Sir Luther grunting and bleeding from several wounds. He seems to be swinging his giant buster sword rather wildly, having bested at least a half dozen combatants himself. It appears his mortal frame is finally showing some wear and tear as a bit of his armor has come loose and a wild, desperate expression is pasted on his sweat and blood-covered face. Koza, at this moment you see Lady Kethra, who's been keeping her eyes focused on him the entire bout so far. She gasps and calls for him. "Luther, my love, no!" And you see her race across the luxury box and disappear down the adjacent stairs. Let's see here. Mr. Axton Woodman Bloom, you are next. What would you like to do?
I think I would like to make some more attacks against this guy.
Okay.
This time I'll race around here. And then with my halberd. Yeah. 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
11 damage.
All right.
He's still good.
Yeah, he's still up. He's pretty tough.
Okay, I'll make another attack. 14 to hit.
14 does not.
Okay, I'll use my action surge. I'll make another 2 attacks. 11 and 10.
Oh. They both miss. Yeah, he's pretty nimble even with this giant sword. It looks like he's kind of using it as an anchor. He kind of sticks it in the sand and sort of dips and dives and kind of swings over your halberd. It looks like perhaps he was anticipating you to be a little kind of heavy-handed with your axe, and it looks like he's able to kind of nimbly get out of the way.
And bonus action, tunnel defense.
All right. He is going to counter that. He's going to flip through the air, yanking his sword up, and he's going to bring it down hard on your armor. It looks like he's trying to test the structural integrity, and he's going to... Oh, man. It's an 18 and a 19.
I really can't catch a break.
Yeah, it seems like this guy's kind of got your number. That's going to be 13 points of slashing damage total, both of those attacks.
Well, only the 19 should hit.
That was a natural 18 and a natural 19.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sorry, how much damage?
That's 12 damage total slashing.
Brings me down to 26.
Alright.
Yeah, it's not just this guy that has my number. It seems like everyone has my number.
This guy goes down right here, if I can do it. You see Al-Shiri kind of stick his stake into him, use it as kind of a pole vault, and slings over across, and he's going to immediately notice this group of people over here, and he is going to head right for Baranor.
Oh.
And he is going to attack you twice. One is a 19, the other's a natural 2.
No, 19 hits. The 2 barely misses.
That's going to be 8 points of piercing damage. He's going to pump a Divine Smite into that.
Ooh. Okay, so what's the total?
8 plus 5 is 13, plus 6 is 19. 8 points of piercing, 11 points of radiant damage. Right into you, and he just kind of looks at you and goes, I remember this. Do you remember?
19, okay. Alright.
However, you get to retaliate, as it's your turn next.
Oh boy, okay. Alright. Sorry, accident, I was gonna help you out, but circumstances. Alright, I'm gonna swing around to the other side so that I can flank with Luna. I'm gonna go ham on this guy. Alright, we're gonna go sharpshooter. Come on. What was that? 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits.
That's 19 points of damage.
Alright.
Plus... Oh, I didn't bonus action before. Alright, just sneak attack then.
Okay.
2. I will then bonus action and move it over to him.
Alrighty.
Not that it affects Luna that much. Luna is going to then attack with advantage, and she gets an 18 to hit.
Hold on, I put Hunter's Mark on the wrong dude.
Also,
Yes.
Baranor, is your sneak attack only 1d6?
Yeah, I'm only level 1 rogue.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, haven't gotten the chance to level up here. I think level 3 is the next die, so I got a ways to go. Does 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
7 more points of damage.
Alright. Yeah, you're kind of giving it right back to him, although, I mean, he stuck you hard, and it hurt, but you're able to kind of keep up with him a little bit, and kind of glance his spear away just enough to kind of stab him with, as Luna kind of grabs his arm and bites at his leg.
That's
Are
my
you going to
turn.
be making the wolf make him go prone?
I guess, huh? I keep forgetting about that. DC 11 strength check.
Yep. I already rolled it. He rolled a 15.
Yeah. He's a strong dude, if I remember correctly.
And he's a big, giant, big black lion.
Yeah.
Imagine that black-furred Wookiee from, what was it?
Yeah, from Boba Fett.
Yeah, kind of like that, only in this big, huge, bronzy plate armor.
Yeah, more Leonin than Tabaxi.
Yeah, he's very lion-like. He looks like he kind of looks like what he said was his brother at
Shen.
face. He sort of looks like Shen, but there's definitely a more pronounced lion look to him.
Sure.
And he's black, not grayish white.
All right.
All
That's
right.
my turn.
It's your turn. You are next, and after your turn, we are going to take a 15-minute break, so just keep that in mind. Your shadow spawn will go after the break is over. But you're next.
Okay, so is going to... I'm going to just launch a firebolt right at this dude. Right in the back of the frickin' head.
Okay.
16 to hit.
That does not hit, unfortunately. His armor's a little stronger than that.
Then I'm going to telekinetically shove his ass.
Alright. He got a natural 3, so that's probably a fail.
Yep.
Alright.
So he's going to move 5 foot closer to the dead guy.
Okay.
Just get this dead guy. And that'll end my turn with Mr. Shadow Spawn sneaking up his ass right here.
Okay.
He gets advantage now because he's flanking, correct?
Yeah, go ahead. I guess you can go. I was going to have him go after the break, but that's alright.
We can break. It's cool.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a break. It is 4:42. We'll call that 4:40. So let's all of us head back here at 5 till 5. So 4:55, and we'll continue this crazy melee that we've got going on. All right. All right. Let me throw this on just to give the bot something to listen to. Do this. Doot. Come on now. Alright, yeah. We'll see you all in 15.
Alright.
Alright, are we back? Now, Kenny, your shadow spawn, that lasts 8 hours or something crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about summon Fey creature? Or no, that's, never mind. You actually didn't do that. I got Chunky Boy confused with Chunky Boy. Simba is here for good, so both of your companions will be here. Stick around.
I'm back.
Alright. Ken, if you want to go ahead for the shadow spawn.
He is going to attack at dude. One is... Hold on.
He's rolling with advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just adding... What does he add in? Oh, plus my spell attack mod. Shit, I didn't do that on the last one. So one's a 21, and one's a 23.
They both hit.
Well, he only got advantage, not 2 attacks, so... There's...
Either one will hit.
Okay. So then he's going to... do...
While this is happening, Sir Luther has been like kind of mingling around and swatting at people and traveling through here, hitting around people, killing as he goes. Same thing with Goromir. He kind of got away from the Minotaur. It looked like maybe it was a little too much for him, even though his first attack was pretty cool. So he's gonna move over here and fight this hobgoblin.
He gets 17 points of cold damage, and his speed is reduced by 20.
Okay. Now his speed is just reduced. He doesn't get to save against that at all.
Correct. It's just reduced. There is no save.
Really?
Hmm?
It seems really weird that no matter what, you just automatically get to slow down all the enemies around you.
It starts its turn within 5 feet of the spirit, has its speed reduced by 20 feet until the start of that creature's next turn.
Is that a Tasha's bullshit?
It's part of the summoning.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, anything else?
That's all for him.
Okay. And what would you like Simba to do next to you?
Alright, Simba is going to use its pounce feature. It's going to bum rush this dude and use a claw attack, which is an advantage.
Why is it an advantage? Attack tactics?
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
So 17 plus 18.
18 does hit.
Oh, it was 19, so it definitely hits then.
Yes, it hits +1.
So, first, make a strength save DC 13.
Strength DC 13, that is a 12.
So he fails and is knocked prone. So now I get to do my claw attack, which is 8. 6 plus 3, so 9 plus strength.
What lion stats are you using, just out of curiosity?
So it's not lion stats, he is a sidekick out of Tasha's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So-
another Tasha's bullshit.
Jeez.
9, 10, 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And he's
DM
prone.
hates Tasha's.
Yeah, I can
So
tell.
I get to do. He has multi-attack, so he's going to claw him again. He has advantage. Good pack tactics. 17.
17 does not hit.
Okay, and then I get to do a bonus light attack because he's prone. Oh wait, hold on. I get +5 to hit. I gotta go back. Let's redo that claw one. Haha, that's a 23. Wasn't adding in the hit modifier.
He gets a bonus attack. How's that?
It's part of pounce. If he moves at least 20 feet and then hits a creature with a claw attack in the same turn, the creature must succeed on a DC 13 strength or be knocked prone. If the target is prone, the lion can make one bite attack action as a bonus action. So, I go back here. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I'm reading it as a lion is pretty cool.
I want to keep chewing in your guys' ear. Okay, so 1d8. So that's 2 plus 3, so that's 5 plus 4 is... So 9 points of slashing, and then the bite attack, again, is at advantage. It's a pack tactics, which is dope. Nat 20. Simba is the man. Can't roll for shit, but the stupid lion can. So what is it's 1d8.
1d8. Multiply that by 2 and add 3.
So 10 plus 3 is 13, plus his strength, which is 4, 17.
Is your strength 4?
No, the lion's is.
I thought a lion had a strength of +3.
Yes, but he got an ability score improvement at level 4, and now his strength is 19, which gives him a +4. So this dude takes 17 more points of piercing damage.
Alright, he's still up, but he is not looking good. He is all torn up. He is being surrounded by you guys, and now he is on his back with a lion just kind of growling right in his face. Alright. Is that going to end Simba's turn?
Yes.
Okay. Roll20 just froze on me, which is awesome. It's catching up. So, at this point, I don't know if you guys can see, but Boromir is going to make quick work of this hobgoblin in front of him. Go away. Stupid center thing or whatever it is. My whole computer just responding. Alright, anyway, Boromir is going to drop this guy pretty quick. A couple of slashes. He's going to see the fracas over here, and he's going to make his way in this direction. feet. He is going to turn his head to the left towards this guy, and you see him pull out this really long Bowie-like knife, and he's going to toss it really, really fast right at this guy up on this stanchion, and we'll see if the guy can dodge out of the way. He does not. He catches this Bowie knife right here under the chin, and he starts to, you see instantly he caught something vital as it starts to bleed profusely from this neck wound. He doesn't drop, but he just kind of like falls down briefly to his knee on top of the statue. You then see Gormir turn his body in everybody else's direction, and he's going to pull his short sword again and ready himself. He's not quite close enough to get to anybody else, so he's going to actually throw his short sword at this gnome that has kind of stayed out of the way, really, and is going to hit the gnome. The short sword embeds itself in this gnome's thigh, in like the quadricep in the back, or the hamstring in the back of the leg. Just like, "Aye, son of a bitch!" And while he does that, the gnome is going to turn away from you guys and face Gormir, and he's going to pull what looks like a handful of gravel out of a pocket, and he's going to scatter it. And this whole area here, a kind of a light detonation, and this purple-gray powder fills an area, but it obscures all of this. No, it's not big enough, but it's okay. Oh, let me touch it. Let me touch it. That's not what I want. I love this website. I really do. Have I said that lately? There. Jesus. Okay, for some reason it won't let me select it now. Oh, yeah. It's going to end his turn. These two guys down here, now it just won't respond to anything now.
Jeez. Of course.
Goddamn nightmare this fucking website is. It's such a pain in the ass. You guys all see Sir Luther starting to chew his way through the crowd and makes his way over here. This little dwarf guy is gone. These two start interacting. This guy bests the dude next to him, and he's going to see this giant plated knight with a huge buster sword arrive, and he's actually going to scurry away, and he sees this shadow spawn with his back and attack the shadow spawn. That's an 18, and he attacks him for 7 points of slashing damage. He's going to use his other attack against it, and that's a 19 plus 2, or another 8 points of slashing damage to the shadow spawn.
Okay.
This guy over here, what I was trying to do, this guy's gone. He is going to make his way over here. This circle on the right doesn't exist. So that's, I don't.
The bigger circle doesn't exist?
Yeah, it won't.
Smaller.
It won't let me select it.
Weird.
Maybe if I zoom in. Okay. There we go. Okay. Just had to zoom into it. Alright, this guy's gonna roll up to Axton. And why are you in a square? Get in a square. Oh my god. Why? There we go. Whole website is just falling apart, taking forever to do anything.
I believe if Axton, once he gets a reaction, because he moved into his melee.
Yeah, he totally moved into your melee there, Axton.
Okay.
And he's looking kind of bloody. He's got some scrapes and cuts that are bleeding a little bit from his shoulder and his leg. That is a hit. He will take that 6.
Oof.
All right.
Well, I might as well make that. No, screw it. I'll leave it as it is.
Okay. He's got a spear, and he's going to try to impale you between the plates of your armor. One's a natural 1, so that's a failure. The other one is a 12, which does not hit. It seems like you swiped at him just enough to catch him off guard, and he tries to stab at you. He looks tired, like he's seen enough, and swiping at you just didn't work out well for him at all. However, the guy next to you with the giant buster sword, he is going to take 2 giant swipes at you. And one's a natural 19, the other one's a natural 3, so one attack definitely hits, the 24. And that is going to be 7 points of slashing damage. He is going to burn an action surge and go for 2 more. One's a natural 20. The other one's only a 9. So that is going to be... I rolled a 1 on my damage. So that's 7 points of slashing. God damn it. Why can't I roll high on my damage and low on my rolls? Get it? Let's see. That is really it for everyone else. Okay. It is technically Saluther's turn. He is going to attack that guy, but that can all be done outside of your turn. So the next person to be able to act would be Axon Woodman Bloom. You got a guy on either side of you.
The guy who's hitting me pretty hard, I should probably aim for him more than the others.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my... No, 16, does that hit?
No, it doesn't.
And that doesn't either.
Oh.
Swing and a miss. You don't like this guy, and it's affecting your judgment.
No, I just have the best of luck, that's all.
Alright, you want to move? Do anything else?
I can't really move, because if I move anywhere, either one of them will get an attack of opportunity on me.
Alright. Alshiri is going to use half of his movement to stand up.
Oh, I will use my bonus action to go in my tunnel defense again. That's it.
Okay, that's fine. He is going to... I mean, honestly, he sees Simba as more of the threat, although he's kind of scared of the Shadow Spawn, but he's definitely going to go after Simba with both of his attacks. One is a 17, the other one is a 13.
Both hit.
Alright. He is going to pump a Divine Smite into one of these. So the first is 7 points of damage. The other, piercing damage. The other one's 8 plus 9, which is 17. It's a piercing, 8 plus 9 points of radiant into Simba.
So what was the total?
Total was 17 on the second one and 7 on the first. And then he is going to straight up book it, so all 3 of you get attacks of opportunity on Alshiri. He is going to run straight into this smoke cloud, just because its
speed is reduced by 20. Just
right. So he only gets here.
Does a 31 hit?
Yeah, I would say so. Enough to where it kind of grazes his cheek a little bit.
All right.
Damn. Ooh, max damage.
Well, sort of.
I'll take it.
And that's Hunter's Mark, and I think Axton was telling me that because it's his turn, I still get sneak attack. Because it's not my turn.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So that's another 9 points of damage on top of that.
Alright.
And the Shadow Spawn hit for a 21.
Yep, that hit.
And let's see.
I lose my freaking music again.
A stunned silence hits the crowd.
11 plus 6, 17 points of cold damage.
It's Alshiri's not looking good, boys.
And that doesn't include Simba.
Yeah, Simba needs to attack.
30, 20. And 7 plus 3, 10. 14.
Alright. What? See, I can't go back and use the same frickin' block of songs. I gotta do this all over again every time I want to play something. Hate this. I can't express how much I hate it.
If only we had a bard to serenade us while we did.
There, Jesus. Alright, he drops to one knee. He looks at the Shadow Spawn and at Baranor, and he says, Alright, I yield. What do? Do you deal the deathly blow, or do you honor the yield?
Shadow Spawn honors the yield.
Baranor will also honor the yield.
He kind of gives a nod and sort of drops to one knee and holds his head down with his spear, just sort of into the dirt, and just sort of looks like he's gonna get up and limp away. He is out of the fighting, though. He is done. He has given the official yield, and it is Baranor's turn.
All right, I'm gonna call out Axton. You good?
No, I'm getting ganged up on here.
All right then. I will target this guy. Oh, wrong pointer thing. This guy right here. And I'm gonna hit him. Our bonus action, Hunter's Mark. Let's move that over to that guy. Alright. Should I go ham on him? He's still raging, probably, huh? Yep, alright. I'm gonna try and hit him with the sharpshooter. 18?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. That's 23 points of damage.
All right.
And I will expend one charge of my bow to cast Entangle on him.
All right. So strength save.
Yes, the strength save of my spell DC, which is 14.
And he got a 9.
All right, so he is restrained. So speed becomes 0. Attacks against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage, and it has disadvantage on dex saving rolls. All right, Luna's then going to race up, and she's going to attack. I'm guessing a 19 hits since an 18 did.
Huh?
And that's 10 more points of damage.
Ooh. The boy's looking rough. He's getting torn up too. He's dealing damage, but he's also taking it.
I forgot to add my sneak attack and
Hunter's Mark.
Add another 7 to that.
All right. Is that sneak attack for Luna?
No, that's sneak attack for me.
Okay. Because he's
That was my bow attack.
Got it.
Yeah. So he is restrained.
Okie doke.
I got you, buddy.
All right. You see Sir Luther make kind of slash down at this guy. He's taken a couple of good hits as this half-orc has this large kind of glaive axe, this polearm axe, just sort of slices right into him. Sir Luther takes a hit to the chest. You see blood start to erupt from his nose, his mouth, a little bit on his chest. He's taken some serious, devastating hits, but he slashes him down, and at this point, Sir Luther has moved over here. There's also, let's move some guys around. This dude's over here, so Sir Luther and him are kind of in melee right now. And this large gnoll creature just sort of smashing into his armor with this kind of club with a big spiked skull at the top of it. Smashing into Sir Luther. Sir Luther's taking a hit and swiping back. You are next.
I'm going to just keep it nice and simple. So these guys are all out of here, right?
Yep. You're kind of without an adversary in the immediate area.
Is this guy still up?
Oh yeah, he's up.
Yeah, he's gonna take a fire bolt right to the face.
All right.
It's 26. 13 points of fire damage.
Okie dokie.
And I'm going to, as a bonus action, telekinetically shove this guy. Because F
right.
him.
Yeah, that's not good. That's like a 9. So he's gonna go. I'm guessing you want him in the cloud. Yeah, he goes right in there.
So that'll
right into
end
his own cloud.
That'll end Juno's turn, and that'll bring the Shadow Spawn up,
Right.
who is going to turn around and crack that dude right in the face. 16 plus 5, 21.
That hits.
It's 12. That's 4 plus 6, 10 points of cold damage.
Sprays ice crystals across his chest. You see him grab it, almost like he's got like freezer burn. You see his hands come back, and they're covered in ice crystals.
And he's going to let... Oh, no. he's going to do nothing else. That'll end his turn.
What would Simba like to do?
Simba's going to move over here and just sit.
Okay. All right. Boromir is going to be joined. There's a couple guys over here that are going to rush in, and they're going to join the fracas, and they're going to start to melee. Sir Luther is busy with this dude who he sinks his sword and slashes him across the chest. You see a wide spray of blood, and then the gnoll turns around and just cracks him right in the side of the shield, and his club just kind of shatters against the platinum of his shield. You see the gnoll just kind of get frustrated and continue to swing the rest of this club onto Sir Luther. Looks like some of the splinters are getting in his eyes or piercing his face a little bit. He's like, God damn it. This guy right here. Let's see here.
His speed is reduced by 20, just as a...
He's not moving. Let's see. Alright, so this guy right here, he pulls out what looks like a kind of a rod with a blue glowing jewel on the end of it where his hand is. He points it right at your shadow spawn and squeezes the blue jewel, and this huge cone of energy goes streaming towards the shadow spawn. What level is that thing?
Well, it's a third level spell.
Okay. The shadow spawn vanishes. It gets consumed by the effect that this wand has produced, and then the blue jewel on the wand shatters, and he drops it at his feet. He then is going to move forward, and he's going to share the space with no, he'll go right here. And he's going to attack Baranor.
Okay.
One attack, and that is a 17.
That hits.
All right. He slashes at you with his, he's got this, glaive on or not a glaive, he's got this kind of an axe handle, an axe on a handle. He's got, he hits you for, yeah, that hits you. That's 9 plus 11, it's 11 points of slashing.
Okay.
And you're starting to see, people kind of milling their way down towards you as this group of individuals is sort of hacking away, and people are defeating one-on-ones and winning those bouts and kind of moving their way down here. This Minotaur comes crashing, is going to occupy this space right here. By the time he gets to you guys, he is right there. He's going to use his reach, this massive great axe, and swing at this guy right here. Just carve him almost cleanly in half. Axton, it's your turn to act next.
Okay, might as well try to take care of the one that's been hitting me hard. 24 to hit, 14
Hits.
damage.
14, yeah, he drops. He kind of looks at you and he goes, well played, mate. I yield.
Perfect. And then I'll turn around to this other guy over here and try to hit him.
You see that he had a blade right to your throat, and as you turned, you noticed that it looks like he was just about ready to jab you with a blade, and all of a sudden, through his throat, you see a sword blade come right through it, and you look back, and there's Boromir Bloom sticking his short sword blade through this guy's throat. He withdraws it. The guy falls down prone.
I'm guessing I didn't see Boromir move.
He was actually high. He rolled stealth and he was hiding behind him. And as soon as you turned around to look at him, he went to swipe at you and he stabbed him upwards. And you're like, oh, there's a guy behind that dude.
Okay. Well, could I attack Boromir?
Yep.
Okay.
Although you'd have to switch universes because that's Boromir.
Boromir, sorry.
Boromir already died.
Yeah, he's dead. He took 2 gigantic arrows to the chest.
Well, he's also played by Sean Penn, so he's gonna die anyways.
Where's my weapon?
Ben, son.
30, 20 to hit him.
20 just barely hits.
Cool. I'm still gonna try to menacing attack him.
Okay. He's going to use his reaction, however, to reduce some of this damage. That's a 15 on his wisdom.
That's just what he needed. 15 is the save.
He ain't shook. Already beat you once. He's ready for this. And you see him, he readies his sword and sees your halberd coming down at him.
And then move.
You move away. This guy is down.
And then I go into my tunnel defense once more.
Alright. He just kind of scoffs at you. Cowelled.
Tactical defensive position.
It's a legitimate strategy. Alright, this guy right here is going to move into a similar defensive strategy right up against the wall, and you see him pull this arrow out of his quiver, and as it's near his finger, he snaps his finger and it glows with light, and he's gonna fire it right in the middle of here. I need all three of you to make dex saves.
What is wrong with me? Like, I cannot get a break.
Hey, you're a big, shiny, clanky target.
I'll take my armor off then.
Go for it. It'll only take you 10 minutes.
You got a lot of aggro on your side.
23 for Yuno, and
That's definitely a pass.
19 for me.
Pass.
it's 15 for Simba.
All right, you all pass. Simba just barely makes it. So 22 is full damage. So 11 points of lightning damage. This arrow erupts right on top of Simba's back and sends a scattering of electrical bolts in every direction. And you all take 11 points of lightning damage. This thing just charges, detonates. This little halfling dude, actually, you see him climb up the Minotaur's back. Them both. Climbs up with his daggers. He climbs up the back of this Minotaur, stabbing him all the way, and actually lands a devastating slice across the back of his neck. The Minotaur falls to one knee and grabs the halfling and tears him apart in two pieces and throws both pieces one way, or throws one half one way and the other half the other way. Aranor, what would you like to do?
I will cast Zephyr Strike on myself and move to here.
Okay.
Zephyr Strike and negating an opportunity attack. My Hunter's Mark is gone for right now.
All right.
And then I will take a shot at this guy, giving myself advantage thanks to Zephyr Strike. It's a 23.
That hits.
20 points of damage, plus 7 force damage, and because I had advantage, I get sneak attack as well for 2 more points of damage. So that's what, 29 total?
Ah.
Alright.
Yeah, he's looking pretty damn hurt.
Why not? I'll go for a second shot at him. This one without Hunter's Mark. Or not Hunter's Mark, but Sharpshooter. 19 to hit.
That hits.
For 8 more points of damage.
Alright.
And Luna won't be taking an attack, but she will be moving over here, and she takes the dodge action.
Alright.
And that's my turn.
Okay, so this guy right here is going to move all the way down there. Okay, and he's got like a two-handed great axe, or not great axe, he's got like a short-handled but large-headed axe, and he's going to reach over his head and toss it. Boop, 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 boop. And he's going to try to hit Aranor with it. That's a natural 1, so it just sails right over your head and lands in the sand beside you, and he just is like, oh, son of a bitch. Let's see, this guy is going to make it and make his way down here. From across, let's see, what's the distance here? From across the entire arena, you see this little tiny moat of purple zippery energy travel from all the way over here and then whoosh, detonate right here. Hey, hold on, I gotta zoom in now. so I can see. So everybody in a... That's not right. It's everybody here. This guy as well. That guy. This guy. All of you need to make... I guess it's dexterity saving throws again. As it detonates with this purplish fireball, just kind of goes off right in the middle of it.
Well, no matter what it is, I'm dead.
Uh-oh.
I didn't... Yeah.
18 for Yuno and 16 for Simba.
Simba fails.
17 for Luna and 27 for Baranor.
All right.
Forgot to click off disadvantage for Luna. But the first number was 17, so.
Come on now. Add this up already. Aha. All right. Everybody except Axton, which you go down. You take 6, 8, 10, half of 15, 21, 22. You take 11 points of fire damage.
Oh.
So this fireball blasts a hole, literally, in this group. Axton is unconscious, guys. How's everybody else doing? How are the companions doing? Luna and Simba.
Simba's good.
Luna has more hit points than I do, which is not saying much at this moment.
All right. Over here, you start to see. It looks like Sir Luther is kind of in a losing battle with this gnoll creature as it just relentlessly bashes onto his armor. You hear kind of a commotion in this area. You kind of hear like a booing sound almost, but you're not exactly sure what's going on. Yuno, you are next.
Okay. So, is pouring a potion in someone's mouth an action or a bonus action?
It is an action on your part, but it's a bonus action if you're doing it to yourself.
Need to read something. Okay. Yuno is just going to carve up a wall of fire around us.
Okay.
Oh.
So...
Don't believe Baranor will be able to see through that, is that right?
That's fine at this moment. Is it semi-transparent or is it transparent?
It is opaque.
Opaque. So no, we can't see through it.
Just check.
Is that long enough?
I can make it a little longer.
No, I'm saying is the spell long enough anyway for that?
Yes. So now Captain Douche over here and Captain Douche over here need to
Captain Douche.
make a dex saving throw, and they're going to take half no matter what. DC 16.
And they both, one got a 17, the other one got a 19.
So they're still going to both take half. 22 points of fire damage.
Is that half of that, or that is half?
That's full. That's full, so it'd be 11.
All right.
And just
This
as
guy
a reminder,
goes down. What is your reminder?
that if they try to pass through the wall, they have to make another dex save. You can't just force their way through. They literally will be on fire.
I get that.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to tell Baranor to bring Axton back up.
I suppose one is higher than 0, so.
And that will end Yuno's turn. And Simba is going to use Second Wind. It's going to restore 1d10 plus 7.
I don't think your animal companion's like a higher level than me.
We're both
Level 7, I get it.
so 1d10 plus 7, so that's 5 plus 7, so 12 points back to Simba. And that will end Simba's turn.
All right. So, about this time, you see Sir Luther, who is right here. Here we go. Grunting and bleeding from several wounds, seems to be swinging his giant buster sword rather wildly. Having, those in the arena itself, as well as the Hargrove viewing booth, you notice that he takes this devastating blow from a nearby, the Knoll's kind of mushed up Warhammer-like club, crushing his breastplate and scattering a handful of silver chainmail rings onto the stadium sand. You hear a mournful, "No, my love!" And right where you heard that weird booing, you see Kethra throw open the side entrance gate and leap out onto the arena floor itself. The crowd begins howling at this intrusion, and Kethra reaches out to her bleeding husband not 40 feet from her. Just as the barbarian raises a killing blow, a gout of deep green negative energy erupts from Kethra's fingers and detonates a 60-foot radius circle around Luther with a crackling black and green energy. I need everybody, because we're talking 60-foot radius is all the way against this area here. It even catches some of the crowd. Everybody needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so that's 2 death saves for me.
Yep,
Do damage regardless.
it does.
Paranor's down.
All right.
I was at 1 hit point. Con save?
17
Con
for Juno and Simba.
What did Juno get?
Juno got a 17,
Okay.
and Simba got a 16.
All right, Simba fails.
Luna got an 18,
Okay.
but it might not matter anyways for her.
Full damage is 36 points of necrotic energy.
Yeah. Oh.
Half is 18.
Yep. We're both down.
All right. Axton, Aranor, Luna are down. You see Goromir. He kind of grabs his chest, and all of you feel this leeching, this withering blight take over your body and drain the life force from you as this circle of death erupts around Sir Luther, and Lady Kethra goes running over to him. The surrounding contestants are blasted outward, some ripping apart and dissolving in a horrible and disturbing display of magical power. The crowd recoils and gasps in horror as at least a dozen or so warriors and first-row spectators now lay dead and in pieces. Kethra leaps onto Luther and begins crying as she cradles his head, weaving a healing spell into his wounds. The crowd, now furious at this interruption, begins booing and jeering, and a loud horn blows, signaling a halting of the contest, as a host of knights and black guard enter the arena and march towards the center, where Kethra nurses Luther on the ground. Several of you are nearby, as well as Sir Thorsten having also entered the fighting pit. Koza, what are you doing? You just watched 3 of your companions go down in one fell swoop.
I am I can't get down there fast enough. I'm going to hop down in between Baranor and Juno. Just give me 1 second to put my mini down. Come on. Why won't it show up? Why is my mini not showing up?
Because Roll20 sucks.
Okay, well, imagine I'm right here. Let's see, what do I have any area of effect healing spells? Are they all, you guys aren't unconscious, you're just down.
Oh no.
You're just like,
I'm unconscious and bleeding out.
Yeah,
okay.
down
I'm going
is
to cast Spare the Dying on Axton. And then what is this? Nope. And then I'll burn. Oh, man, I don't have any fucking area of effect. I'll cast Healing Word on...
Oh, don't worry about me.
I'll cast Healing Word on Exton then.
Okay. You don't have to cast Spare the Dying.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll just cast Healing Word.
Okay.
You get 4 plus 3, so 7 points back.
Alright, Axel.
Air enters my lungs. I was literally one death save away from being dead.
Luther stands upright. Sorry, is that your turn?
I mean, yeah. What I could do.
Luther stands upright, a little shaky, but blinks himself into coherence and takes notice of what is happening. My love, you're all right. I won't let them hurt you anymore. The Black Guard approach and brandish their spears. Luther snaps his gaze back at them and back at Kethra, looking back and forth before raising his sword and stepping between them, guarding his wife. Looks like this. See the guards approach. Halt, Sir Luther! We must take this woman into custody. She's just murdered dozens of contestants and onlookers. Please, come quietly. Kethra, now looking around wildly, her black eye makeup running down her cheeks, hisses into Luther's ear. They cannot hurt us anymore, my love. They are maggots. They will die as maggots. I have taken care of everything. As she says this, you start to notice noise from the audience has begun to shift from anger and sneering to that of terror and blood-curdling horror. As you watch, dozens and dozens of audience members now standing to their feet, brandishing daggers and hand axes and pulsing magic from their fingers, begin diving into their neighbors, stabbing and cutting into them. A fresh round of chaotic panic explodes across the entire Colosseum as the crowd tramples over each other to escape the now ensuing bloodbath. You notice that most, if not all of the attackers, have a similar aesthetic to them. Pale skin, dark clothing, very reminiscent to Lady Kethra's personal soldiers. The knights in Black Guard approach slowly as Sir Thorsten joins them, his hands empty and open. Mother, please, this is madness. We are knights of Dane and must act as knights and do what must be done. The woman must come with us. Luther looks around, confused, rage and tears in his eyes. He looks at his brother and the guards and then back at Kethra, who's trying to tug on his arm and drag him further away from them. Please, my love, they will kill me. Luther's eyes galvanize, as if settling on a final, terrible decision. He turns and takes a swipe at a guard, slashing him across the chest. He then stabs another and another, scattering them away. Thorsten raises his hands, pleading for peace. No! Luther, please! Don't do it! He looks down at his chest. His breath is cut short by the blade jammed between his ribs. A wide pool of blood now spreading across his clothes. Luther, breathing heavily, holds the sword and draws the blade out. Thorsten falls to his knees, tears dropping from his eyes, and looks up at his brother. Thorsten grunts and falls to his side as Luther says, I'm sorry, brother, but she's my wife, my bonded, and I won't let you or anyone else take her away from me. Thorsten falls, clutching his chest to his side, and you can clearly hear Lady Penelope scream from up in the stands. By now, the audience is in utter chaos, as at least half have escaped, while others remain. Unable to avoid the onslaught of the assassins in the arena, as Black Guard now filter into the stands to combat these attackers. Penelope screams from up in the stands. By now, the audience is in utter chaos, as at least half have escaped, while others remain unable to avoid the onslaught of the assassins in the arena, as Black Guard now filter into the stands to combat these attackers. Kethra looks on at the chaos and backs up, a sneer, a wild-eyed smile twisting across her face. Come, my love, let us away from this place. Let us go where we can be together. Luther backs up slowly, being approached by the black guards who split off, some surrounding the fallen Sir Thorsten, others slowly pursuing Luther and Kethra. Luther begins to raise his sword again. From a few feet behind his massive frame, a pair of great black bat wings erupt above him, followed by a serpent-like neck that snakes its way into the air. At its tip, a skeletal reptilian head, crowned by a pair of bony forward-sweeping horns, crest a face that now looks down upon all of you. Slimy drool drips from between jagged, razor-sharp teeth. The creature's wings spread out and blow sand in all directions as its jaws part and erupt with a terrifying growling shriek. Come, my love, your new home awaits us. And a pair of massive black-clawed arms snatch Sir Luther around the waist and pull him close to what is now a huge, fully grown black dragon. He grunts and grabs at the claws in shock at first, but quickly, looking back at what he has done, accepts his fate, clutches his wife's claws tightly. The dragon's wings beat heavily, and they both rise high into the air, 20 feet, 40 feet, 60 feet, hovering now in the center of the arena. A horrible, crackling laugh resonates. Fools, all of you! You thought you could take my prize from me. She grips Sir Luther a bit tighter. Nothing keeps Shekis from her treasure. Now face my blessing and despair. Her red eyes flash bright green, and she rears her head back and screams, a fountain of acid that cascades down into the crowd of the stadium. A new layer of panic and horror ensues from the audience as they now desperately scramble to escape both the splashing pool of dissolving acid and the attackers, who at this point are now murdering civilians and fighting the Black Guard. A great wide circle of sizzling stone and bones are all that remain of Shekis's acid attack. She beats her wings and circles the Colosseum, now dragging her razor-tipped tail through the stands and slicing patrons and cultists alike to ribbons as she laughs in delight. She rises to the center of the arena, and again her eyes flash green. Shall I bless you again, Dane? Who shall be next? How about the insufferable House Hargrove? She stares with a ravenous delight in her pinpointed red-lit eyes, right at a panicked Lady Penelope, now clutching her belly, as well as her son Rhys. The elderly Sir Ulysses Hargrove dives on top of them to feebly cover her and his grandson as Shekis belches another volley of acid. The crowd howls in fear. Silence grips as the stream pours down. The acid falls closer and closer to the Hargroves until, whoosh, a great bronze-like metallic batwing splays out and covers the entire area of effect. The acid splashes down onto the extended wing, which shivers and recoils from the pain as steam hisses and the wing begins to melt away, several small holes in the flaps growing big enough to let through daylight. The Hargroves appear unharmed underneath. A mighty roar amongst the crowd howls in pain as the wing swings towards the arena, flicking the excess acid away to an empty spot of sand as it begins to fold and shrink into the shoulder of none other than the Duke of Dane himself. His face grimaced in agony and furious wrath. He clutches a hand to his shoulder as his wife does what she can to wipe away the remaining acid, but his amethyst eyes burn with rage and dart up towards the sky, towards Shekis, now wearing a look of disbelief and disdain. Shekis laughs in defiance of this revelation. So, there is more to you after all, eh, Raphael? I might have known the ruler of a city so nauseatingly pure of heart would be a bronze dragon. The Duke gives his wife a meaningful glance, and he rushes forward, diving off the edge of the balcony. Instantly, his armor shifts and bulges, and 4 immense bronze-colored scaled limbs grasp a pillar as the rest of his bronze body erupts from his armor. A snake-like neck capped with a bronze-scaled dragon's head climbs in height as the dragon now scales the pillar. His injured wing hangs limply at his side as the other wing helps him to climb to the top of the stadium. Finally, reaching the zenith of one of the stadium statues, he reaches as high as he can with his neck and roars loudly at Chekas, who is now at this point at least 200 feet in the air. Chekas simply snarls at the Duke and turns back to you all. I have my prize. I shall take him with me. Kill them. Kill them all, my children. And as for you, crown collectors, you wish to slay a dragon, do you? I'm sure your dear silver-skinned friend would warn against it, if he could still draw breath. You will join him. Behold what your dreams may bring. Follow me if you dare. And with that, she turns her tail and begins to beat her wings, carrying her and Sir Luther higher and further away. Raphael leaps up and tries to chase after her, but the massive damage in his wing prevents him from taking flight. Instead, he roars up at her again, and a devastating bolt of lightning erupts from his mouth, dissipating harmlessly into the sky. Chekas rises higher still, laughing and roaring, reveling in her victory, now thousands of feet away, till her form disappears behind the clouds and is gone. Panic has ensued. All chaos has erupted on the ground and in the stands, people desperately trying to get away. You notice now that several of your fellow combatants are approaching you, pale skin, acid scars on their faces, and instead of randomly attacking as per the free-for-all, now all seem intent on murdering you specifically. One of the cultists attempts to murder Gormir Bloom. They are about 10 feet away from your group. Let's see here. Approaching from an opposite corner is a yellow-skinned Earth Genasi that you recognize as the one standing next to his father, the Duke. He approaches with a huge buster sword and a shield. He slices through the cultists. He walks around and braves your wall of fire, looks at all of you and gives you a nod, and does his best to cover you all with the shield. How long does wall of fire last?
Hour.
An hour. All right, do you keep it up?
No, up to a minute. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It has since dropped.
Does Baranor need to have been making death saves this whole time?
We're going to say that he's going to pump some cure wounds into Baranor as he approaches this Earth Genasi, who actually looks like this.
Because I've been down this whole time.
You pop back up as this paladin, Duke's son, kind of leans down and touches your chest and kind of picks you up, and he covers all of you with his shield and his buster sword as these creatures begin to approach you, which we will get to next session.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
How many points of healing was that? Just out of curiosity.
That was, you get 11.
Ooh, okay. Better than nothing. Okay. Well, I saw some of that coming. Not the whole thing.
Stunned.
Yeah.
Called it.
I called some of it, and then it took a very M. Night Shyamalan twist.
What a twist!
What a twist.
So, that lands us on the 22nd of October. Is everybody good with that date?
I'm good with that.
I will not be.
You will not be here. Aww.
That's a shame.
The army calls once again.
I'll be happy to roleplay you in your stead.
Alright. Luna needs to be revived. Just FYI.
Got it.
So on the 22nd, we will meet back here. You are all being beset upon by not just from people in the arena, but there are humanoids, individuals leaping down from the stands, and it
is absolute pandemonium right now.
There are people screaming and crying and being stabbed and throats cut and slit, and it's a bloodbath all around. There's Black Guard in the arena now that are squaring off against these cultists or whoever they are that seems to have shed some kind of illusion over what they actually look like. Now they're all taking on a similar appearance of Lady Kethra. You all have to deal with this now encroaching mob of villains. Not all of them. There are still some contestants that aren't part of this group, but yeah, things have just changed dramatically.
It is chaos.
Shit has hit the fan hard.
In the most colossal way.
What did I miss in the hour, by the way?
Not much.
Okay.
A lot of pussyfooting around town.
All right.
Yeah.
I heard something about an elk.
Yeah, you were hunting with Luna and you brought home an elk.
Okay, sweet.
So you can decide what to do with that whenever you get back to the Hargroves.
Sure, maybe I'll make Koza like a mantle or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Be dope.
If we survive this.
I'm getting a glaive soon.
Yeah. And just for reference, in I think 2 days from now, Axton, your armor will probably be done.
And my
If we
gloves.
survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to survive.
Well, and the blacksmith has to survive.
Nah, I don't need the blacksmith no more.
I think my gloves are.
You think you got it?
I'm fully
gloves are done
proficient
in
in
a
blacksmithing now.
Or 2 days.
Did you say Baranor?
My gloves, the thieves' gloves.
Yeah, they'll be ready in about the same time too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody is about 2 days away from being ready, having all their stuff ready.
Assuming we live that long.
Yeah, we'll see how this pans out. Just saying, there is still a bush of assassin vine just kind of sitting over here and chilling. It never got used. It's still there.
I never got a chance to cast my spell. I kept getting surrounded. I didn't think that if I just made like a 10-foot move, I'd get like 4 people around me.
Yeah, you kind of wandered away from us, so.
Not to.
Well, we'll see how this all pans out in 2 weeks. Until then, good job, everybody. Mostly you guys didn't go unconscious, and nobody died, which is awesome.
Yet.
And the dragon's gone. I think you survived 1 dragon attack. I think you can survive a couple.
That wasn't even really an attack. That was just them showing up and saying, "Hey, fuck you," and bouncing.
Oh, she attacked us. She hit us with a 60-foot thing.
Yeah, in her human form, she threw a circle of death at everybody.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which killed a bunch of civilians too, just saying.
Yeah.
Alright, so that'll do it for us. We'll see you in 2 weeks, alright?
Alright, see ya.
You're gonna see me in about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe with a new character, who knows?
You can tell Steph that I'll have the episode up at some point tomorrow.
Alright, I've been like gently commenting without giving anything away, and it's killing her. Because she hates surprises. So,
all right.
She is currently working on getting a different schedule going. So, cross your fingers, she might return.
I would love it.
Sooner than later. Yeah.
I can definitely inject her. I would probably need 1 session, even if she's like, I can come next week. I would need at least 1 session to kind of work in her return, but that shouldn't be an issue.
Right. We don't know when the next shift might be happening, so we'll keep you updated as much as possible.
No problem. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you at 2 p.m. on the 22nd.
All right. Yeah.
See ya.
Adios. I'm going back to bed, so. I got work tonight. Yep. All right. Adios.
Bye.